Hello, salutations. What to do? Start the gamer off. How to do that? Blah, 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 blah. You know the vibes. You already know what it is by now. Welcome to the Aftershow podcast. We are back once again for a very special episode. It is, of course, going to be the best by default. You know why, Jay?
Why?
It is episode number 69. We made it. we, we made it to the best possible number. That means there's nothing stopping us right now, Jay. We're guaranteed to the top now. We hit number 69. We did it. We did it. So to celebrate the 69th episode, we're doing a little something special. We're streaming in mobile format where we're just so happen to also be testing out a new YouTube feature where they've got live streams that you can conveniently watch vertically. So that's the new thing the kids are doing. So we're gonna try it out, see how I like it, see how it does. But it'll be the same great podcast. Otherwise, we may be joined by Casual Avenger. He's currently face deep in some deep dish pizza, but when he comes up for air, he may swing by. Otherwise, it'll be me and Jay talking about the latest in gaming and pop culture, which pretty much this week is mostly bad news. This week was pretty disastrous overall for the gaming industry. At least we got some cool stuff. So we'll go over everything from the PlayStation layoffs to the EA layoffs to the Bracer layoffs to the Suicide Squad drama. There's always Suicide Squad drama. We'll also talk some Helldivers 2, which is pretty much the one healthy game. They just had some leaks that got people very excited. We also got a sneak peek at the Superman suit from Superman Legacy. There's some really good news coming there. Jay will tell you all about how much he loves the new vision of James Gunn, and and we may talk about some wrestling stuff because WWE 2K is coming up. So I'll definitely check out for that while Jay rambles on about whatever that 2K paid him to say. So let's first off say hello to the chat. So, Cap Tay, congratulations on being first, my friend. Also, big shout out to Eastwood. He's not here yet, but he made his return. He had some personal issues that he told me he was going through. So he's been gone for the last several months, but he came back. Sounds like he's doing well. So we're happy to see you, buddy. Appreciate you. What's up, Unknown? Champagne, Simple J, Mikey Dykes, Charles, Original, Steven, Bruno in the building, Venom. What is up? It is actually you mentioned that, Bruno, perfect that we're in vertical format because for the 69th episode, we're like our faces are like right here. It's like we're 69 each other. In terms of in the format. 69th episode, 69 video format. we it all works. Some big brain stuff right there. So we're also streaming live on both YouTube and Twitter at the same time. So make sure you like, share, all the good stuff. If you want to throw us some money, we do answer super chats. Otherwise, we're going to be keeping the conversation going, but we'll pop in chat and see anything interesting that pops up. You can also join over on the YouTube side, !join, unlock some special perks as a backstage pass member. So, Mr. Shockblast, let's get into the layoffs this week because holy, there were a lot. Let's I guess we could start with the I don't know which ones I guess let's start let's go chronologically. Let's start with Sony. let's start with the Sony layoffs. The EA layoffs came after. So Sony laid off I believe 8% of its workforce globally, and that included big cuts across the board to three of its most profitable studios, including by far its most profitable studio, which is Insomniac Games. Guerrilla, who of course made the Horizon series, they were forced to lay off 10% of their staff, according to Bloomberg. We don't know the specifics on how many employees Insomniac were forced to lay off, but some leaked documents last year that came out did say that Sony was pressuring them to lay off at least 50 people. And we actually know some of the people that Insomniac had to lay off. Thomas, who was a community manager, he was let go. Emma, she was a game designer for Spider-Man 2. She was also working on Wolverine. She was let go. And I saw recently level designer
I saw that too.
was let go. So a lot of lost jobs. Naughty Dog also was forced to lay off some people, and the whole London studio was shut down. Fire Sprite has some layoffs, as well as the Twisted Metal game that was in development. There was going to be a live service. That one was completely canceled. We had a multiplayer Spider-Man game that was going to be in the works that was canceled. So what the hell, Jay? What's going on?
Listen, I've had to listen to some of the shittiest, dumbest takes in the history of bad takes this week.
Same.
Please help it make sense, okay? I had somebody like not jokingly say to me that it's okay that people at Insomniac were laid off so that a non-profitable studio didn't have to close completely. Help it make sense. You do not take people away from a profit center and to save a deficit creator. You just don't do it.
Yeah, it's goofy. Like you're gonna make your most profitable studio run less potentially less efficiently, and what, because you made some bad investments, because another studio, like I think a lot of this comes there's a lot of factors to this. I think PSVR 2 being a complete flop was definitely
but I've been told that it's not a complete flop.
Yeah,
okay,
it was a massive flop.
Okay, I've been told it is not a complete flop because I use that as an example of one of the reasons why this was happening, because they went so hard into the VR and it fell in its face. But I was told they were close to their projections because they've sold 1.3 million units in the first year. By the way, 600,000 of which were in the first 6 weeks. But never mind the fact that on Amazon in the US, the number one retailer probably in the world, okay,
definitely in the world,
during the holiday season, it was outsold by what's the other one? The other VR
Oculus?
No,
Quest?
Maybe Quest. Outsold by Quest 30-1.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Amazon sold just under 11,000 units for the PlayStation VR during that time. How are they going to hit their 2 million projection? Because I read the thing and the guy was like, "Oh, gotcha!" Like I thought it was their projection was 2 million and they were at 1.3, which was close. And I said, "Yeah, that's like $360 million. That's not close." Okay.
No. Also, it's going to be hard to get to that projection when they just canceled all of their upcoming VR games.
And on top of that, like think about the fact that 6 weeks they did like half their business, okay?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the year they barely matched it.
That means that means a bunch of people tried it out at first because it was a new thing, and then word of mouth hit and it was like, oh no, this is not it.
It's not gonna get better. They're not gonna hit 2 million units. And by the way, I didn't know any of this stuff. I just knew common knowledge it flopped. Okay.
Yeah, because no one's using it.
Right. They lowered their projection from 2 million to 1.5 because they knew it flopped.
They also, I mean, let's also not forget that Sony went into a spiral and their stock went down just because they missed their PlayStation 5 sale projections by 4 million.
How does they are literally the market leader by a wide margin. How is this happening?
So the weird thing about Sony is that overall, like they're not Microsoft. Microsoft it just prints money, but they've been struggling with their game division, relatively speaking. But Sony, dominates in their gaming division, but
Nothing
everywhere
else.
else
Yeah,
they're
they're
kind of
losing money.
it's kind of a disaster.
Yeah, and I know that, but I'm just talking about in the gaming perspective because like Sony can't that's another thing. Like Sony can't as a corporation sit here and say, "All right, well, our games division is the only thing making us money. Let's start making them leaner and we won't, so that we can keep making PCs and Blu-ray players and TVs." You know what I mean? Like
It's
that makes no sense.
it's silly, and this is I think this is a lot of this is driven by profit incentive because they looked at their margins and they were like, okay, well, in the past we were hitting 12% margins on our PlayStation. Now, this generation we're currently hitting 6% margins. Oh, we gotta figure it out. We need that we need that profit. So we're seeing companies because the landscape is changing. I mean, we've seen AAA game studios have been crying the sky is falling because development costs are getting really high. Reportedly, you know, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2 costs 300 million. I think God Will Ragnarok costs 200 million. So because they're seeing like the future that people are going away from consoles because they pretty much hit their limit. Like they're not going to this massive growth for consoles is just not there anymore. That's why Xbox just conceded and said, "You guys won. We're out of the console war." And now everyone's trying to scramble to get to what's next, and it's resulting in a lot of pivoting. Like they were mentioning how Jim Ryan was mentioning how they're trying to streamline for the future and think about how they make it how they're making games now. And I think that's code for maybe with the margins we're trying to hit, we can't afford to just drop these big $100 million single player experiences. We got to find a way to profit more off of these games. I think that's part of the reason why Ryan initially made that very ill-advised investment towards big live service stuff. And this is also part of the issue for part of the residuals from COVID going away. Like there was a big boom in tech in particular when everyone was locked down. There was a lot more interest in gaming. People were home. They had to do something. So we saw Netflix, gaming, were streaming, were all really big during that era. And then when that went away and people were able to go, out, that resulted in people looking around like, oh well, we spent all this money, we did all this expansion, and all that growth is gone. So now we're kind of left with what? Well, do we try to keep moving forward? Do we leave things as we are, or do we scale back to try to head off some of those losses? And they decided, well, we're going to lay people off to make up for those losses, because obviously executives taking a pay cut is out of the question.
I think that whenever there's a layoff, severance should come out of the executive bonus packages.
100%.
Like it really, really should, because like how can you get any form of a bonus when you're having to bleed talent? Like it's nonsense. I really don't understand like what's going on here. You know what I mean? Like it's stupid.
It literally is great. Like I think they were was that Bungie executive? Then he literally just straight up what he's just straight up asked, what did you consider cutting executive comp? And he was like, nah. I was like,
No, that's
they're
like,
they're fucking super villains, bro.
and here's the thing. I feel like I am more I don't know what the word I'm looking for is forgiving, maybe, when it comes to like executive compensation, because a lot of people act like they do nothing. Like, yeah, they don't make the games, but like there are people at the top that do have to do a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff that happens at the top.
Some of them are very a lot of them are very useless. But yeah,
It's
yeah,
possible for sure.
there's but there's I mean there's a lot of I look at a lot like middle management and like there's a lot of these redundant executive positions where they're overcompensated and they're wholly unqualified. They're out of touch. They have no idea what they're doing, and they just make pretty much everything worse. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I get what you're saying. There is a misconception, particularly among when it comes to ownership of a company that if you own a company, then you're the most useless one. Where in fact, if you start a company, you are the most important and are taking on by far the most risk.
Yeah, and that's I think ownership is definitely a better example. Like I look at
Yeah,
like Steve Jobs. Like there are people that are like, "Oh, Steve Jobs is worthless. He doesn't even do anything anymore." Well, it wouldn't exist. Not Steve Jobs. The Amazon guy,
Bezos.
Bezos, or Jeff Bezos. Okay, like Amazon. He started that shit in his garage. Okay, like these people took all the risk, created something, and yeah, now it's so massive it's almost automated, you know. And I don't think that those people are any less deserving of certain to a certain point, you know what I mean?
For
Like
yeah, for sure. Did you see the BlackBerry movie?
I did not know.
I actually watched that this week on Hulu, and it was really good. I enjoyed it, but it's crazy to think how big BlackBerry used to be.
Oh
But,
right, and now they're just
but
dead,
it
gone.
literally used to be the number one phone. Like everyone had a like. It was crazy. But one of the crazy things that they show is that you know sure you have the guys, the upstarts, the tech guys who have the ideas, the creativity, but they didn't take off until they hired this guy, this basically corporate asshole who got fired from his gig and just went all in on them. But they were being completely taken advantage of, and they had no idea because unfortunately there's a lot of hoops you gotta jump through when you're trying to start a business, especially in the tech world. So he immediately knew, oh, you're getting screwed over. This is how you talk to these people. This is how you move. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. Like they're at one point they were in a position where they're going to lose the whole company because one of their competitors was trying to do a hostile takeover, and the guys who made the tech for BlackBerry didn't even know how that worked. But he was like, shut up, I got this. So you kind of need people with like kind of that insight and everything when you're starting a business in the tech world. But it's definitely gotten bloated, and we saw later how that can all fall apart. And game studios are no different. Gaming is huge business. It's the fastest growing industry. It's I think I saw that there was only like they generated like $145 billion last year. It's a lot of money in gaming, so there's obviously going to attract a lot of money people. But at the end of the day, this is definitely a sign that, at least in terms of AAA development, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be sorted out. Like Sony, I gotta understand. Like I really don't understand a lot of like some of the layoffs can be like, okay, we're not making money here, we gotta go. But I feel like it's weird to just punish studios because you made a bad investment in VR. Yeah,
Yep.
like how
That
do
that
how do you with a straight face look at a studio that sold 50 million units during the last 5 years of their game series, just sold over 10 million for their newest game that has only been out for 4 months, and tell them, yeah, you got to cut 50 people.
yeah, and they're not happy about it either, you know.
They shouldn't be, and
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
yeah, it's really insane to me. And I feel bad for all these people. I understand at the same time. All right, they're the VR studios. They were doing what they were tasked with doing. But at the same time, I mean that it is what it is. You're a VR studio. Your shit's not working. You're not like performing. In any other business world, that's not who you invest in.
Yeah,
Like you just don't invest in those type of places when you have like these profit centers. Imagine telling the profit center you need to like subsidize these VR studios, basically. You know, and I it's interesting the point about. All right, I want to highlight this point. Okay, I talk to me in 6 months about Helldivers. Okay,
Jay is not a believer. He is not not about fighting for democracy.
I understand it's a fun game, but like, do you think you've all gotten your $40 out of it
100%.
for sure?
100%.
All right, how much more?
I paid 60.
I did too. Are you going to still feel that way in 6 months? I doubt it. All right.
I definitely feel that way when we get those mech suits. They look awesome.
yes, but how sustainable do you think it's going to be for them to keep producing that, especially if all they have right now is that $20 add-on?
Yeah, they had that. They had the add-on. They also are selling the super credits and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing I think that what the CEO mentioned, and this is his philosophy, that they feel like you have to earn microtransactions, and I think the game has definitely built up a lot of goodwill.
Yes, I agree.
Where they could sell players on, like, say, a $20 expansion or something like that. Also, their sales have been like insane, so I'm sure their profit margin on that game is pretty tremendous.
Yeah, considering every world is just the same thing but a little different. Yeah, like with a slightly different time of day. And I don't know, I guess this world is gaseous and that one is snowy. I don't know.
And don't forget Robot Vietnam, the jungles.
Yeah, well, it's just funny because there are so many other games that basically reuse assets that way. Like Starfield. Now I understand there's a perception issue with Starfield because a lot of people felt like
it wasn't fun. It was boring.
I don't think it's. I mean, other than the fact that you're battling all these drones in the story missions, it's no different, But like, there's no mode where you can go in and just do that over and over again. But the point I'm making is, like, Starfield is effectively similar in a lot of ways, and people go on and on about how repetitive the environments are and everything is like that. Whereas I've literally never heard anybody like complain about the fact that the maps in Helldivers are literally just asset flips over and over again.
I think because it's not the same, and it's about expectations versus delivery. Like,
sure,
like Starfield, the promise of Starfield, there was a lot of hype behind it, and it was like, okay, this is going to be the next gen No Man's Sky. This is going to be huge space exploration,
and that's what I was trying to say when I started off.
Single player game, thousand plus planets explore, and obviously people had their expectations partially because of No Man's Sky and everything you can do with that. And they were like, okay, this is a Bethesda game, so this is going to be like Skyrim in space, all that good stuff. And when they got the game, a lot of people just feel like it didn't deliver on that promise. Whereas Helldivers 2 was just this small, fun, top-down game that people got a kick out of. And then when they heard how about Helldivers 2, they were like, what is this? And they get it, and it's basically this really fun game that you could play with your friends that is basically the reincarnation of Starship Troopers. It's very funny, doesn't take itself too seriously, it has a ton of meme potential. You could do a lot of funny, cool things, the friendly fire, the salutes, all that. It's this big community building game. It's multiplayer without being PvP. It doesn't require a lot of, like, the underrated thing about it is that, like, it's not a looter. It doesn't have customization, but that also but it could have customization. But because it's not a looter, you don't have to worry about things like inventory management or running out of space or anything like that. Underrated but simple thing. Like, you can just hop on. Okay, what stratagems have I unlocked? Okay, cool. set my loadout, drop in on a planet, shoot some bugs, spread some democracy with my friends, and be out. And then you feel like you're part of this big global community because you have you have these goals where it's like, okay, well, we have to take over this sector, and you can go fight for super. You got to fight for Super Earth. You got to capture this territory, and you can track in real time. And it gave people a greater sense of community. And when you combine all that, the sense of community, the memes, the pretty fun gameplay loop, it's undeniably just struck a chord with people. So
Plus, it's PlayStation.
and PC. So
It's a PlayStation game,
yep, and PC, and
and
which is where
obviously
it's used.
the cult is in full effect.
Yep, all those Steam players that are PlayStation 5 cultists are definitely making their voices heard.
That is true. Steam is the only thing that matters.
You should know that by now, Jay. You cover Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Steam is the only metrics.
Yeah. But still, my point is that like not many games are going to be able to get away with that. Like that is an outlier. It is not a standard.
Yeah.
And Miles Morales benefited from reskinning New York City. You know what I mean?
And being a smaller game, and that
Right.
and that's another thing. Like it's a lot. Like it's not just about the expectations. Like Arrowhead's a smaller studio, doesn't have Helldivers is not a big IP, didn't come with those expectations, didn't come with that baggage, but they delivered a very fun experience, and also did a lot of stuff that's player friendly. $40 entry point versus $70. $60 for deluxe versus $100 or $120. Battle pass that you can't buy your way to power on. You have to, most of the stuff you unlock, you have to do it by actually playing the game. So they earn justifiably a lot of goodwill with the players. So that's kind of how these things get judged, as opposed to something like Suicide Squad, where it came with a lot of baggage because Rocksteady, very big studio, a lot of expectations, and people wanted another Batman game. They have their expectations of what they wanted, and they didn't get that. And instead they get this, looter shooter, and they see the gameplay and looks, the characters look samey, and they start thinking like Fortnite and stuff like that. And then they're killing the Justice League, which is another thing, because people would much rather play as the Justice League than kill them. So you have that working against them. And then
the characters look samey.
The play samey, I said.
They play the characters play samey.
If you look at the gameplay, especially when they released the gameplay, when they released that first gameplay trailer, the characters looked like they played samey because they were legitimately just showing gun gameplay. Like it was like a 2-minute trailer. It showed gun gameplay. I know there are people who are hating on the game in bad faith, but I played the game 100 hours. I know that the samey critique is perfectly valid, because if we dive deep into it, it's because, and this was pointed out as well by SkillUp in his review, the one thing Avengers did very, very well was distinguish each character in terms of their combat kit. Whereas with Suicide Squad, apart from the traversal, the characters' styles can feel very samey, especially since they aren't very, the weapons so far aren't really that creative. Like the main set of this season is tier 3, is the tier 1 through 3 Bane set. Every character, it works the same on every character. You can pretty much just copy and paste the same gear onto a different character and play almost the same way. Like
you took it the wrong direction.
Like
that's not what I was implying with.
Yeah.
They feel the same.
What were you implying?
Literally everybody plays the same in Helldivers.
Yeah, and that's the goal, because Helldivers is not a superhero game. The whole point of Helldivers is that you're a super citizen of Super Earth, you're just someone who are swept up into propaganda. You enlisted so you can do your part and become part of a collective. You're not supposed to be individual, but that aside, you can be, because they have a large number of different weapons and stratagems that you can customize your loadout and play completely different from another person. Whereas with Suicide Squad, they don't have yet that really cool variety of weapons that you expect, especially since early on it was getting potential Borderlands comparisons, and it so far hasn't delivered, at least in terms of the creativity of the weapons. And again, the individual characters themselves don't feel as distinct as something compared to Avengers, where even the echoey characters had very, very distinct styles, but you just look on the base roster. Black Widow is completely different from Hulk. Thor plays completely different from Iron Man. That's what I'm getting at by the statement.
I know that part, but I'm looking at people saying that and driving that into the ground, and then saying Helldivers.
And those people are perfectly valid. Like, that's a perfectly valid thing. Like, if you play a superhero game, you expect the superheroes to play
I don't
like
buy it.
superheroes.
I understand that aspect, but like, I don't think anybody that is like hardcore into Helldivers can use the repetitive, samey argument. Like, you can make a lot of other arguments.
I think they can. I think I think a Fortnite player would definitely not have a leg to stand on. But if you play Helldivers, you are perfectly justifiable to say that you don't like that Suicide Squad's characters play play a little too samey for your taste.
There's literally nothing different about anything in Helldivers.
Again, this comes
Everybody
from
is
expectations. It's not a superhero game,
that's not the point though. That's not what I'm saying.
and you can,
Like,
but
it's
you can,
literally the same thing. Like,
except you can also very distinctly make your build different based on the different weapons and stuff available
how many weapons are there in Helldivers?
a lot.
That are
I haven't even unlocked all of them, but
right, because it takes like a billion hours.
for example, I'm at level 18. I'm not a super Helldiver sweat, but but if I wanted to be, I have several play styles I have to choose from. Like, if I want to be more of a, say, sentry support character, I can be like, okay, I can basically set up my Gatling, my mortar sentry, and I can just basically create perimeters where I'm keeping all the enemies away by using these automated sentries. And if I want to, add on to that for personal security, I can throw on the guard dog, which is a basically a portable drone that follows you. You have a laser and a gun version. If you want to just be like brain hell on people, you can rock out with an eagle build where you just basically nuke the entire battlefield. Like, you just literally just call down bombs and mass blow up the entire environment. You can be a flamethrower person just running around wrecking people with flamethrowers. They're about to add mech suits where you can literally just get into a big Stark Tech like mech and run around blowing people up in a super suit like you're a Gundam. Like, they have the weapons themselves are inherently interesting. Like, even that's to make up for the fact that it's not a superhero game and these are just normal people who enlisted in the military to fight for Super Earth. That's the thing. Whereas Suicide Squad is a DC game. It's a superhero game. You're here to kill the Justice League and save the world and now the universe from Brainiac. You're working with Poison Ivy, Task Force X, Lex Luthor, Penguin, all to craft these crazy, Toyman, all to craft Gizmo, all to craft these crazy weapons to help you bring down the Justice League, and you're running around with a fucking AR. like, and the most unique thing you can do is, we got a damage debuff on here, and we can spread some affliction, that has the name of a villain attached to it. Because come on, like it's a fair critique to say, based on everything crazy that's happening in DC and the premise of the game, they could at the very least have a more interesting collection of weapons to choose from.
Okay.
At the very least. Like, I understand there are definitely a lot of people who have very bad faith arguments about Suicide Squad because they haven't actually played the game at all, never intended to play the game. But as someone who has played the game a lot, I do think there's definitely validity to some of these criticisms if you dive deep into what it is, from a perspective of someone who has put in a lot of time into the game. I do think that aspect of the game, specifically the abilities of each character and the variety of weapons, is something that they could improve on, as well as obviously the boss fight designs. I think all those things could be improved on. Doesn't mean that I think it's a bad game. It doesn't, but it is something that should be improved. Like, obviously the technical problems, like people not being able to log in, or play multiplayer, that takes priority. But once that's fixed, those other issues are still issues.
Oh boy, I shot this bug a different way.
Yeah, I called reinforcements to refill my weapons, and the pod that I called it down on dropped right on the fucking bug's head and killed it.
Oh no. We made the bug go splat.
Yeah. Exactly. That, I mean the numbers speak for themselves. Like, it creates a lot of really viral moments. I mean, we saw the similar thing happen with Baldur's Gate 3. Like, part of the thing that drove the popularity of that game and the memes and all the viral videos were all the creative ways you can approach different combat scenarios. And they had similar stuff. Instead of just running in and cutting the goblin down with your sword or shooting fire at it, you could, drop oil on the steps and make them fall, or drop this thing on their head. Interesting things where you can solve combat encounters, not in a set structured way, but kind of explore kind of your creativity. So that sort of thing clicks with players and makes it for really good shareable content. And Helldivers 2 has a lot of those moments because they do give you that freedom when you're on the battlefield.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy it.
I do. I enjoy both games, but I'm not going to pretend like Suicide Squad doesn't have these problems beyond performance issues. And as someone who was skeptical about Helldivers, I gave it a fair shot. I analyzed it, and I think, and I understand exactly why it's popular. It makes perfectly sense why it's so popular. It hit a lot of the things that gamers have been looking for, and the fact that there are bad faith people who are going to be judging Suicide Squad unfairly and who are going to be glazing Helldivers doesn't change the fact that the game is objectively good and Suicide Squad objectively does have problems.
Yeah, and listen, you're not going to get any argument from me that Suicide Squad has problems and that there's things that needs to be fixed. I feel like the glazing of Helldivers is just too much for me.
It's it happens with every big. It's the new hot thing. It's inevitable. Like,
and that's why I said check in with me in 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see it maintaining. Like, I just don't. Like, there at some point they have to do something significantly different, because like all I hear everybody ever talk about is, oh, this is boring. It's the same thing. Oh, you're just doing the same thing. You're just doing the same thing. And then a game that is literally created doing the same thing over and over again. There's almost no variety.
I mean,
no other game ever gets the benefit of the doubt this way. like literally ever. Okay,
Based on what I've
it's
seen,
just insane.
based on what I've seen of the roadmap, there's definitely this game will definitely still be popular in 6 months. But I think it's definitely fair to look at certain games to see how same will this be. Like Power World, you know, be, had great meme potential. And it was basically the anti Pokemon. Pokemon with guns. That was a whole meme. But it was a low buggy mess. It is a very very basic, but it it went viral because it scratched an itch because people were not getting what they wanted from these from these AAA developers, and here's this small studio that comes in and gives players what they what they essentially want, and they get rewarded for it. Now, how Pal World will capitalize on all that attention will remains to be seen. There's a lot they have to add. They've said they had a lot of stuff planned, but you know we'll see how Helldivers and Pal World maintain. But I think Helldivers definitely has a more sound infrastructure, and people, again, this comes down to expectations and good faith. Like, not only is Helldivers a very fun game, it it's very player friendly. It's a that $40 entry point. On top of that, the CEO is not going on Twitter talking about, oh well, we have a quadruple A game here, so of course we're going to charge more. He's not saying stupid shit like that. He's straight up. He literally told someone, "Don't buy our game until we get the servers under control." So they've developed, like it or not, they've got a lot of good faith with the community, and because they're a smaller studio, they are getting that benefit of doubt. Now, will they necessarily get the same benefit of doubt for Helldivers 3? Probably not. This is inevitably how things work in this business. You have you have an upstart studio that you get a couple of hits, and then that comes with expectations and entitlement. We've literally seen the same thing with Insomniac. They've been in the business for decades, producing bangers. They give us Marvel Spider-Man now, and then people were doubting them, and then they deliver it, and it's like, oh, they're the greatest, they can't do no wrong. And then as soon as they do anything that people disagree with, then all of a sudden, oh, here we go, Insomniac. Now I'm seeing people saying Insomniac is a bad studio and they deserve to be fired and all that and all this other stuff. And granted, 50 million sold just on their Spider-Man series, but you see how quickly they turn on you. So Helldivers 2, Arrowhead will have that moment when the parts of the community will turn on them. That's just part of gaming. Like, it's inevitable, but that doesn't change the fact that they made a really good game, and that doesn't change the fact that Spider-Man 2 was a really good game. Did it have problems? Do both games have problems? Sure, but that doesn't change the fact that the people have spoken. Like, despite the naysayers, Spider-Man 2, critically, commercially, big success. Helldivers 2, big success. Like, you can't take that away. It's right there in black and white. The numbers online. The people love what they love, and we should look at the reasons for that and see how that can be potentially replicated going forward. But also, acknowledge the realities, which is that, yeah, you may be frustrated by the glazing, probably mostly because of the people who are also in turn hating on Suicide Squad, which is a game you do feel is being unfairly picked on. But yeah, eventually Helldivers will have its moment where people are nitpicking that and hating on Arrowhead, but we're not there yet, because right now it's the new kid on the block. The whole big trend is small studios that are outdoing the big AAA studios. That's the movement right now. People are interested in that, and that's why we're seeing a bigger groundswell of support when a game like Helldivers comes out and turns out to be good and wins a lot of people over. That's just reality. It's part of the industry situation we're in right now.
All right, next topic, so I can actually talk about something.
Yeah, go ahead. We can go into EA. You know,
Yeah, okay, perfect.
they're basically. I mean, Star Wars games are just dead. Like apparently, we're just done.
Yeah, I don't understand. All right, well, so here's the thing. I do understand why licensing is taking a hit. It does feel like Disney. I mean, we unfortunately have seen what the deal was with Insomniac and Marvel. We never should have, but we did, and they take their cut. And I'm sure that's the case with Star Wars too. You know, if I guess this is just going to be the result. I mean, like let's look at the most recent Star Wars games. You got Battlefront. I don't think that was a big seller per se. Like it sold okay out the gate, but then it like had its issues. And then most people that bought it ended up buying it on deep discount. And it probably wasn't very sustainable because they had to work so hard to get back in place. You know, obviously the Star Wars Jedi series, they're continuing. And that's been pretty successful, I think. It'll be interesting to see how Outlaws does through someone else, but like I don't know, that license must cost a shit ton
Yeah,
for them to just abandon a Mandalorian game.
that and EA just hates paying license. They just want as much money. That is also the other thing. Like, yeah, the main reason they cut Battlefront 3 reportedly was the licensing fee, and they were also reportedly like when they were extremely pleased with how much more money they made once they stopped making FIFA games and start making EA Sports FC because they didn't have that license fee to pay to people anymore. So they're a very this is a lot of we just don't like paying license fees and want to maximize our profit situation.
Yeah, and that sucks. I think Disney is a lot to blame on their own end.
Yeah,
Just
they do way too much.
yeah, I think you know they shut down LucasArts, you know, and LucasArts put out a ton of great games. They decided to outsource all of their gaming, and this is the result. You know, like you can't like it's got to be a mutually beneficial situation.
Yeah.
And I mean, you hear about the way they bleed their partners dry on the licensing, and you know that's crazy. You know, like you know at a certain point, I don't know. I don't. I obviously am not a business person, but I do understand Disney's point of view, where you know they're going to want to try to maximize their potential, you know, in revenue. But like I don't know, you got to leave something there for the people you're working with.
From Disney's perspective, I think they're being fucking morons
Yeah,
because like WB. That's why another reason I think WB is in a if they're smart are in a great position, particularly in gaming, because they own those big IP franchises like DC and Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, and they have a thriving games division under them. Whereas Disney has entirely relied on, well, we're not going to produce our own games. We're just going to allow other people to pay us to make our games. And if that's your stance, fine. But to also gouge them
yeah.
is
It
insane
does feel that way.
because you're
As-
not doing anything. Like you're literally just giving people the right to use your stuff. Like they're paying you to use your IP. All you're doing at most is sending assets, and of course they also like to be super hands-on and bureaucratic and tell you what to do. But they're not
yeah,
they're not funding the game. They're not fun. It's not like they're just funding all these projects. It's not like they're building out their studios and like they're literally just saying, "Oh, you want to make a Marvel game? Okay, give us all this money, and we'll tell you what you can and can't do, and enjoy.
yeah,
Give us."
that's. I think that's one of the issues too, because like I look back to when I was friendly with you know people that worked on Marvel Heroes, including you know everybody's favorite you know punching bag.
B-Wags.
Yeah, like you know we used to be cool and we had good conversations and
shout
I've
shout out to MAGA Wags.
and I've just heard that like they're just very difficult to work with and like nobody at a certain point you don't want to do that. And that's another reason, like, not to bring up Suicide Squad again, but that's a reason why I think they're in a better position to get through this,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
realistically, I feel like once the server issues and all that are fixed, I can't imagine them going backwards, like you would hope.
Yeah.
It has taken entirely too long. Like, listen, I've been very vocal about how disappointed I am in the way they're handling everything. I think their communication is awful, and that's one of the things I do love about Arrowhead is they are it out there actively communicating, and that does go a long way, as we're seeing. Whereas Suicide Squad, okay, sure, they put out a blog today, all right, that's great, all right, but like they're not using, they're trying to drive people to their Discord,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, that Discord should never be the primary point of contact. It
Yes.
is like I love Discord, but I'm not joining any more Discords. Like, I'm just not doing it.
I'm in too many.
I am in way too many. I get too many notifications. I'm tired of it. And I'm fine with being in a few, but I'm not joining the Suicide Squad Discord just so I can keep up with everything. Fucking tweet it, all right? Facebook it, like Instagram it, blast it everywhere. You have
Yeah.
to. Like,
Yeah.
often, because like there are still people that can't play that game, and they don't have any idea if they ever will be able to, you know and it's frustrating, and it's frustrating to be someone that is more positive about the game and has had great things to say about it,
Sure.
and was flown out there to play the game, came back loving it, didn't know these issues were ever going to happen, said, look, this game is a lot of fun, I enjoy it, was called a liar, and all those things. Uh, and now, like, here we are in finishing week 4, and like they're talking about not doing a patch next week.
Yeah.
And it's just a terrible precedent to set. First of all, even if you do, which I'm assuming that they're very confident that the server side fix is going to be the fix. But like, even if it is, it's just bad wording. It's bad communication, and just, I don't like, I love the game, but I'm not playing it either, because I can't play with you. I can't play with anybody, and
Yeah.
I want to, and I did figure out how to get my mastery up a little bit, um, but like barely, and it just doesn't feel worth it right now. And yeah, you got a new season coming. That's gonna be exciting. But here's the thing: WB owns DC. All right, so there's no like licensing fees. There's none of that weighing them down, which is why they're gonna be able to hopefully get through this. Now, will that matter? I don't know. Hoarder said that it sold out on Amazon today for PS5. It's a good sign. They sold through their inventory with a $20 discount. That's a good sign. you know but I don't know, man. Like, it is just one of those things, and when it comes to licensing, I think that is the unfortunate part of Marvel and EA. And one of the things I think I've kind of said this to you before. One of the arguments about Suicide Squad is, oh, nobody asked for this. Okay, all right, and I get that, but nobody asked for most games.
Sure.
But like,
Correction, Jay. I asked for most games. I was the first person who asked for The Last of Us. I was actually back in the '89. Actually, I was about 1 years old, and I specifically asked Nintendo for Mario. So you're welcome.
there, all right, well, I got you there, but like, when Captain America and Black Panther comes out, okay, literally nobody asked for that.
Nobody asked for that.
All right, is that what we're gonna deal with?
Yep.
You know, is that, like, nobody's talking about it now, but as that game gets closer, are people just gonna be like, well, I don't want to play as
Dora Milaje.
is it even Azuri? It's like, it's
No.
Azuri's father, right?
Yeah, Zuri's file. This is your World War II era Panther. You're getting Captain America, of course, but you're also getting a Howling Commando. and a Dora Milaje soldier.
You're getting Black Panther like 5 generations back from the Black Panther you actually want to play as.
Yeah.
You're not even getting T'Chaka.
Nope.
You're getting like T'Chaka's grandfather. Okay,
Yeah.
so like it's gonna happen when we get close to there. Nobody asked for this game. I would have played T'Challa. Like, and it could be a great game. I don't know. We don't know anything. All right.
I mean, that game might be canceled.
Right. I mean,
we haven't heard anything about that in a while.
And then the EA Black Panther game. All right, we're gonna get close to that. And like, nobody asked for this game. I want to play as T'Challa. Like, I feel like there's people that'll take chances. I know it's easier to take a chance on a $40 game like Helldivers. I fucking have it here. Okay, I went to the store and bought it. Like, I had to have a physical copy.
Of course.
Right. It's right here under my stack of stuff. Okay. I bought it. All right. Easy to make that, but like
I feel like thank you, comic book. I feel like I don't get enough credit for inspiring Super Mario.
Yes, we're all a whole literal generation of little Mario brothers running around. They thank you for the movie too, you know what I mean?
You're welcome.
But like that's the thing though, like this narrative now, nobody asked for this. Like we're seeing it with even Spider-Man. Like they can't even sell skins for charity. Like they literally just had to fire people to subsidize other studios, and people are out here worried about them like selling 2 skins they don't even have to buy for $5.
But
but
$4.99 is a lot of money, Jay. I mean,
yeah. Okay. If you can't afford $5 for 2 skins you fucking hate and don't want anyway, maybe you should consider another hobby.
It's the principle, Jay. They should be able to get the skin that they don't want the day that they don't want it without having to pay $5.
They should want to be able to throw $5 at Insomniac every few months on principle. Like
if Insomniac set up a subscription service, I would absolutely sign up.
Yep. I just don't like. I don't think they're particularly interesting either, but I'm gonna buy them because I fucking love Insomniac's games, and they should be able to put out skin packs for sale. But like, there's this expectation that like, well, they give skins away for free, so And now we're looking at God of War, right? Because they had to lay off people too, right?
Did they? I mean, there have been so many layoffs. The PlayStation layoffs I knew they confirmed was Guerrilla, which is Horizon, Naughty Dog, and Insomniac, and Firesprite.
I thought I heard something about Santa Monica too, but regardless,
let me look that up because holy shit,
because they just put out a DLC for free that I did, to a lot of people's credit, hear them say I would have paid for this.
100%.
And I didn't. I don't know. I think it's a great game. It's fantastically made. I don't know why it doesn't interest me as much as I want it to. And it's the same thing with what's the other one?
Oh, yep. Horizon, Guerrilla Games, Horizon.
Yeah, beautiful game. I really want to like it, but I just never been able to get through either of them.
I thought Zero Dawn was great. I thought Horizon was beautiful and technically better. Great gameplay. Story, I didn't like it as much. So yeah, it looks like well, this is hard to see, but Sony Santa Monica Studios just suffered reportedly a round of layoffs due to a cycle of resource realignment, and their new IP is apparently gone. Yeah, they're working on new IP.
Yep. So there you go. How exactly are we supposed to move forward? Like we're constantly having to deal with, like, I understand, listen, it's your money, spend it the way that you want to, but like, if you like superhero games, I don't really think, like, I know Suicide Squad's not Insomnia or not a Batman game, all right? I know maybe you don't like looter shooters, but like I don't know, man. Rooting for them to fail is nonsense because they didn't make another Batman game. You know what I mean? Like that's stupid because like then you're just never like so if this fails, you're literally never getting another Batman game. I mean, all right, you probably will, but like it's not gonna be the one that you remember.
Yeah, and even if they got it, they'd still whine about it, like they rhymed about Arkham Knight and Origins.
Oh no, Arkham Knight is a masterpiece. It was always a masterpiece. I love Arkham Knight.
FYI also has way more monetization than Suicide Squad.
It like it honestly is the worst, most idiotic people that fall for the bait every time of the fact that it's a game as a service. Like the literal definition of a game as a service.
You can go on the PlayStation Store right now and pull up Arkham Knight and get a list of skins you can buy.
Yeah, like tons. And the problem is that a lot of these people that are like super Arkham fans waited until it was like on the like collected edition where everything came with it. Like those people are the ones that are like, what do you mean? I didn't have to buy anything extra. I just waited 2 years and bought everything all as one package.
Yeah, basically stupid people.
Yeah. So it's at a certain point, okay. You have to like look at me. I bet they do a Catwoman game, and I'm all for it. But like
you say that now,
yeah.
But let me tell you, if they announce a Catwoman game, first thing what they will say is, "No one asked for this. Where's Batman?" And second thing they would say is, as soon as the art was revealed, her tits aren't out. Woke. It's woke.
Did you see the AI version of Harley that was floating around?
Oh my god, it was a fucking catastrophe.
Yeah, it's insane to me that like I don't see anything like other than all right. There's the pride flag, or whatever the you know the thing when you're walking out.
I could count on one. I could count on one hand the amount of things in Suicide Squad that you can classify as woke.
Yeah, yeah, like
it's literally a hand. It's literally a handful. There is you could call it Harley not having her sexy outfit, rejecting it, and the pride flag, which weird that's considered woke for that to exist.
Who cares?
But okay. And Lex's personal files, he had this whole bit about toxic masculinity. It was pretty cringe. But other than that, there's like you're really reaching.
Yeah, man, like even if you're not into it, who cares? Like there are American flags in the game, and there are people that don't enjoy seeing that for whatever reason, like I just
especially Confederates.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I just feel like, and the hard part right now is that like the game isn't working right, so it's a tough argument to make, but if the game was working right, which is I'm tired of having to say that about every game, but like if the game was working right, like there's no argument against it. If you don't like looter shooters, that's fine. I get it. Just why can't you just skip and wait for the next game? Like you're not getting anything else anyway. So what is sitting around bitching about it and like typing into Twitter and looking for people that are, enjoying it and like losing your shit on them, like and literally making things up, you know what I mean? Like
the amount of people obsessed with the game that claim to hate it is definitely weird. Like even in a video where I'm being critical of aspects of the game, because I'm not being a full-on Kyle, it's a lazy devs or everything like that, I'm still called you're still a shill, of course.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm tired of like first of all, I never tweet at anybody. I just yell at the sky. All right. And even then, like sometimes devs will DM me and I feel bad because like, look, I'm not trying to yell at you, you know, like, but like I am upset. I want the shit to work and I don't agree with what you're doing. And the other day I got the black screen of deathlog and you did too.
Yeah.
And they were able to do something and get us back in. Why that? I guess that's also why I'm a little confident that whatever they're going to do on the server side next week is going to work
Yeah,
because
bro.
they were able to do it for some of us.
And
But
Doom got his stuff.
yeah, so like I want to, I don't know, man. I want to talk about good things. I just want to have fun playing my games. I honestly genuinely like, and I know I've been like negative towards Helldivers in this, but like you and I played it on stream and I had a great time with you, you know. And I bet like you and I could play like a Barbie game and have a great time with it, you know, like, but
Well,
like that's not the point.
well, hold on, Jay. What do you have against Barbie? Are
I don't know.
you saying you hate women, Jay? You hate female empowerment,
Yeah, you know, as a man with a breadwinning wife, I am very much against women empowerment.
You heard it here first. Clip that.
Don't clip that. I know your history. I know your history with clipping things out of context.
Hey, I'm not the one who said I was a professional sucker. That was you.
Yeah, professional sucker at Captain.
See, clip that, clip it again.
Yeah, I'm not the one that breaks chandeliers when they play basketball in the house.
Joke's on you. I don't have a chandelier.
I
I don't live in a mansion like you.
go that far. My 3-bedroom, 1 bath, where 2 of the bedrooms are literally just a collection of beds.
I didn't want to reveal it, Hoarder, but Jay actually just recently financed a new AAA Barbie game. It's a live service looter shooter from coming to you from WB in the set in the Barbie universe. coming in 2029.
Yep.
So you heard it here first. Be on the lookout for that. It's called I believe it's called Barbie Kill the Transformers. It's gonna be a pretty big one.
Yeah, sorry. I just wrestling's on right now. It's WrestleMania season.
It's not real. Actually,
Helldivers isn't real.
It's real. It's real to me. I'm spreading democracy. I actually had a little tweet go viral, which I even got Paul Tassi to respond to.
I saw that. You got him.
Yeah, I made a meme post teasing season 1 with Joker gameplay. I literally just took the gameplay from the Insider episode 3 and just put together a boilerplate social media manager tweet and it was just like, yeah, this is what I would do if I was in charge of marketing. People are definitely I've seen a lot of anti Suicide Squad posts today, particularly from Suicide Squad players, because they over the whole bad marketing stuff, and they were not thrilled about the blog learning that there's no patch next week. Now, if they do fix those issues server side, without having to do a full patch, that will be a W for next week for sure. But as I said in my video earlier, if they can't do that next week, then it's a bad look. And then they also mentioned they're doing next week. They're going to add a new Discord channel. That was their big reveal at the end. I don't know if you read that far, but
no,
I read the whole blog because I was like,
I don't give a fuck about their Discord.
Because I was like, this can't be it. But I read the whole blog, and the big reveal, other than the fact that they revealed a meta build, is that they're going to be opening a brand new Discord channel next week, where you're going to be able to give your feedback about ways you want to improve the game, and they'll run the stuff by you that they want to particularly introduce or refine. And you get to weigh in that Discord in that Discord channel. Coming soon, Jay. No release date. Just like for season 1, no release date, but it's expected to drop next week. And when I read that, I was like, "Come on, guys!" Like, I understand that you really like Discord, and there's definitely value in having that Discord,
Right.
but a lot of people aren't on Discord.
Yeah, and they should be able to be excited about that. The problem is that the game isn't working, and you can't the things that you're excited about and that you want to implement and all those things, they have to take a back seat because this is just it's a bad level of not working, and at a certain point, if you're not going to say anything else, then you can't talk about the good stuff. And I hate saying that because I'm very pro dev. I've had lunch with these people, they're great people. I know they love the game. I know they're excited. I feel like I guarantee you that, we've both had tons of interaction with people that work there.
Yep.
I got a DM when I tweeted that black screen. I got a DM from somebody within 10 minutes, hey, we flagged it. We're working on it. I'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah, Kane hit us up. He was like, yeah, we
it was someone else for me, but I wasn't gonna say any names personally. I did see Kane message you though on Twitter. And I don't expect that. I feel bad when that happens for me because I know
you're a big shot, Jay. Embrace it.
But I don't feel like I should I don't feel like I want that. I'm trying to think of his name. There's a guy that follows us both. His Twitter name starts with a Z, and of course I can't find it now. Literally responds all the time, and he hasn't been able to play for 3 weeks. Zoms, something like that, I think.
Yeah, I know, if I had spent $100 on a game for early access, and it's for on starting on January 30th,
Foms.
and I'm still not able to play it on March 1st, I would be furious.
Yeah, I actually found the tweet that he actually responded to me. It's Foms 21. Reading, our main focus right now is season 1, when segments of the player base still cannot log in at all to play solo or do any multiplayer. Matchmaking is rough to read. He's literally, we've had this conversation a few times. He literally is getting the Doomkiller login special for going on 3 weeks now. And there are other people that have had a rollback on their, I think Crinky, I think I saw him say something about, I think it was him. Somebody I saw said that they got to a certain point and rolled back all their progress to the beginning, and they can't get it back. And those are awful things to have happen. And I don't know how you talk about season 1 without fixing that first.
Yeah, that's the tough one. That's why the feedback is good, but that should have. Why couldn't that have been a Twitter space, or remember Avengers? They had the weekly dev streams. Why not a better version of that?
Right.
Use your Twitch, use your YouTube, go live, answer a question, instead of just dropping a blog, go live, answer some questions, give us some updates, so that people feel more connected and they're being heard, and that you're getting to those different issues. You can even have JayShockblast or a content creator host with co-host.
And I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, it's too bad they're 5 hours in the future, because wouldn't it be great just to have them come on a safe space like the Aftershow and have us just talk about it? You know what I mean?
They could. We could always I do my show prep 20 minutes before we go live. Like we can move the start time
Yeah,
for Rocksteady.
exactly. But like, so maybe that's a conversation we should have. Like, like figure out a way. Like, I feel like they're falling into the traps that Avengers did. Where
Not all the way. Like
yeah,
we haven't got to the point where there's like 2 months of silence.
right. But it's still not good and it still feels bad. Like I don't like being upset because they are great. Like I just and we've seen Axel like that I didn't even know he followed me and like I said something and then one day he responded and asked how I felt about it and I immediately dropped it in the DM. I was like, "Hey guys, I didn't know he followed me. This is what he said. Do you guys want to chime in?" And then he just sat there and had a conversation with us all day. That's literally the game director. So like I know that they care. I know that they want to fix these things. It just sucks that it's not working out,
Yeah, so we can definitely have Axel one of them on to talk about it if they have permission because my biggest issue with the communication is not even just that the devs aren't responding because they're pretty responsive, the community managers are pretty active and everything, but it's the marketing like they like and I think that's a corporate issue because
right. Nope, it is. I think
their hands are tied. I'm sure they would love to talk more about what's coming in season 1 and all this other stuff, but they're locked behind that. Like they just aren't able to do what they want to do to grow it. And then meanwhile, they have to bounce it off with the fact that there's a lot of frustrated players that can't play with their friends. So do you really? It is a fair point. Do you really want to talk about and this is something Miller brought up. Like he's on the side of you still have to. I'm sure you disagree.
This is a bold-faced. Well, I'm gonna cut you off. This is a bold-faced lie. You're full of shit, and you're stupid. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like we have been completely critical. No, you didn't try to tell us anything. You didn't know anything. You didn't know any of this was going to happen. Like you're literally making this up. You knew there were going to be these servers issues. No, you didn't. That's the only issue they're having is server issues.
Well, I said the game might be a complete disaster at launch, but but I was just covering my bases because I know the history of live service games.
Yeah, I mean it's this type of disingenuous like loser that can't help themselves but show up on when people we're literally sitting here criticizing the game and like egg on your face. No, we have no egg on our face. Like we've been consistent in the way we've discussed this game over and over. All right. Like we're also not like crybaby losers that are mad. It's not another Batman. Where's my Arkham 5? I want my Arkham. Where's my Batman game? I want my Batman. He's Batman. Yeah, it was all good a week ago. No, it wasn't.
It was in fact not good a week
ago. No, like you're full of shit and you don't know what you're talking about.
I distinctly remember when it was all good. It was all good in you can say it was all good while we were doing the closed alpha because that was pretty fun. The alpha went very well. Launch has a.
It was good for like until people couldn't log in. Yeah. Because I don't think that was right away necessarily.
Nah.
But like
for Doom it was.
Oh yeah, that's true. But like I mean, we both definitely have over 100 hours in the game. So, it's fine. It just the service shit needs to get fixed. That's it. And then season 1 can launch, and I think we'll be in a good place.
Yeah, we got it. We gotta get there first. So we can definitely. But yeah, like I was saying, Miller had a point, and this is going to be one where it's like there aren't really any great answers because on the one hand, being silent allows all this negative publicity and commentary to just pile and pile and pile. But on the other hand, if you do, talk about a bunch of cool stuff that you want to do and everything, it can feel like a slap in the face to the people who have all these other issues. So it's kind of like you have to kind of pick your poison there. And I feel like talking about the updates is a better solution than just not saying anything at all. Like I think if you balance out, taking feedback, making sure people know that you're working on these problems while also saying, hey, this is some cool stuff we're working on. This is some cool stuff you can expect in season 1. I think a good balance can be had there.
I have to share something. Let's see how we're gonna share this.
Make sure you enlarge it a lot.
Yeah.
for the format.
All right.
For our 69 format.
Let's share. Which one should I choose?
Bro is playing Helldivers too. No, it looks good. You just gotta. I think we just gotta. The actual original image, I would blow it up if you could.
I don't know how. Like I've got it full screen.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Bro is playing Helldivers 2 in real.
Okay, this dude is playing with an Elgato Stream Deck. Shout out to Elgato, my sponsor.
Money. I'll never understand playing on a mouse and keyboard.
Right. But dude is literally using his Stream Deck.
Which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because Helldivers 2 has a feature where you have these stratagems. You could call down weapons and air support. But in order to do that, you literally have to type in commands like down, right, left, like you're like actually entering in commands in a terminal. So that's actually really cool.
Yeah, listen. They won me over with the Elgato Stream Deck integration.
We got them. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them.
So now let me look like a hero and share this with Miguel.
Jay about to get a bonus from Elgato. Casual Avenger in the building. What's up, Kaz? We were hoping to have you on the panel. Hope you're enjoying your deep dish, my friend.
Yeah.
No, but I think, I do agree that the game will be in a much better place once they fix all these issues and add new content. Because outside of the technical issues, the game would still be fun if like there was more content. Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Like I don't have much to do, nothing really to push for. And there's definitely improvements that I want. Like Lejeune, me, and several others have mentioned some things. Like June specifically mentioned targeted loot. Like Justice League theme gear, Brainiac theme gear to make those boss fights worth farming. Trix had a really good suggestion for the horde mode, which they're implementing in season 1, where they're going to make it more closed in, so you don't have to just run around this big open area to try to find enemies. So it'll be more of a proper horde mode. So that that's cool. I propose more interesting weapons. Like there's potential here. We just got to get there. Like
right.
Like they have a good format. Like the live service thing is such a kind of tired complaint, because it's usually from people who have no idea what they're talking about and are just looking at the wrong thing. Like especially since there are definitely some games where people literally ask for multiplayer, and there'll be the same people that will complain about it in others. So I'm sure that Insomniac would have had plenty of people whining if they had actually did go through with that multiplayer game that got canceled or something. Because I already know if Spider-Man 2 announced they were doing a multiplayer game, you'd immediately have people thinking, oh, it's going to be battle pass, pay, all this other stuff. So it is unfortunate. Missions seem to change at higher difficulty in open world. Gizmo dropping off cars and smash and grab missions was a surprise. So the difficulty in open world to me seemed pretty easy. The only time I noticed like any significant increase was when I finally stopped getting loading into Metropolis bug. I hit Raising Hell tier 5, and they had a destroyer come in. So I noticed that wave of his squad was harder than the typical open world enemies, but in general, they're even then still not that hard compared to the incursion stuff. But yeah, I think the open world difficulty in general seems to be fairly easy, and I do wish they had more ways to implement Gizmo, because like you basically don't use them at all in the incursion missions, and I feel like it's kind of a waste to just have this whole thing like the vehicle. Like when I heard there were going to be vehicles, I thought, oh, it was going to be like a part of your loadout and something
Yeah.
you can use all the time. Like in Helldivers, they're literally adding vehicles. You could just add it to your stratagem, and you'll be able to call down a full mech suit. You can call down your drone or whatever to follow you around. I thought when they talk about the Gizmo thing, I was like, oh, you're going to be able to unlock the ability to call in this flying vehicle with weapons and blow through it, and you may put it on a cooldown or whatever for balancing sake. But I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. And then when you actually get the game, it's like, well, in certain open world missions, Gizmo will spawn in cars that you can use, and in one section of the Brainiac fight, but otherwise you won't be able to use vehicles at all. And in the open world missions where he does call in vehicles, you don't actually need to use them to clear it out. And now that people have found a way to grind XP, you don't even gain XP if you use the vehicle. so there's no point in using them.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like this way. Bring more Gizmo. Let it free the vehicles. Let us implement the vehicles in more stuff, and let us get XP from them, because that's silly.
Yep.
That was a silly fix. Just but the ability to call down vehicles, like even if you like, you can do it like Helldivers has it like where certain stratagems you have are some of them are limited, some of them have limited uses. So maybe like say you run an incursion mission, so a certain vehicle you have 2 or 3 times to call it in. Certain something like that.
I think another thing that happened in gaming this week is Mortal Kombat 1. We saw the release of Peacemaker, played by John Cena,
Who should have been Suicide Squad.
and let me just tell you, nothing breaks my heart more than loving every second of Peacemaker in Mortal Kombat 1 and realizing that we are probably never going to get him in Suicide Squad till the Justice League. Like, honestly, I understand that they were in development on this for a long time. They probably made the decision for these characters, a full long way out, but man, he is so good in this,
I feel like they still had time to like look and pivot for like maybe like a future thing, like a season 5 or season 6 maybe.
Maybe. I hope so. I would do whatever I could at this point to implement Peacemaker as soon as possible,
because they do have a Peacemaker Easter egg in the game, so they were aware of it.
Like, I just freaking love, like, I do a brutality and I just hear John Cena, "Peace out, motherfucker," or "Eat peace, motherfucker," or "Let's see Batman do that." Like, it's just so good. He is so good in this. Like, it looks just like him. And I know that they got the scans from Warner Brothers. Like, it's literally a conversation I had at NetherRealm, because they were asked, we had just seen where they do like the facial scan, and they were asking about Anthony Starr and John Cena. And they said, no, we actually got the scans from Amazon for Anthony Starr and from WB for John Cena. So everything was already, like, everything about it was already kind of scanned in, and they already had something to work with, And I just feel like like besides being my favorite character to play as in Mortal Kombat, uh it's so good. And like I never thought I would care about Peacemaker remotely, and I actually generally think John Cena is a terrible actor. Uh,
Yes.
but he is like so bad he's good at Peacemaker, like born to be Peacemaker, because he's just a big goober, you know?
Born to be the James Gunn version of Peacemaker.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, listen, nobody gave a shit about Peacemaker. So he's a character you can have whatever liberties you want with. As far as I'm concerned, like Peacemaker exists because of James Gunn and John
Yeah,
Cena,
might
you know?
as well. Might as well. Literally,
Like
no
he
one.
was not even a D-lister before Suicide
Yeah,
Squad,
literally,
you
no one
know?
cared. Literally, no one cared.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for the fact that he did, like Cena did so good in the role, he's no different than Javelin or Weasel or Arm Arm what was his name? Like Arm Fall Off Boy.
He's, I'm pretty sure Peacemaker was below Kite Man in popularity.
Yeah, for sure. Like there are actual people that wanted Kite Man, like a Kite Man video game, to be honest.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted that.
I did.
Anyway,
I wanted that.
but like I thought of this mostly because XP, I've bitched about XP all 3 seasons of Mortal Kombat.
First time
Uh,
hearing of it.
yeah.
I
But
thought you were a shill, Jay.
yeah, the XP is actually pretty decent this season. It does feel like they listened. Last season it was dog water. I barely played that. Like I got so lucky last season because if you happen to be online in the first half hour that the season went live, you were greeted with everything unlocked immediately,
Boom.
and able to use all your currency from the previous season. So I bought out the entire store immediately, and then I already had everything there was to unlock, including the final boss. And I had planned on playing through anyway, but I didn't because the XP was so bad it was not worth it. Like I'm not gonna play this game. I don't mind playing the game if I'm gonna get decent XP and be able to like improve my characters. But if I can't do that, then there's like no point. So
So
yeah,
Jay went into the boardroom and said, "Look, guys, you got it. You got to." He went right to Ed Boon and told him, "Look, Ed, the XP sucks. You got to do something about it." And that was like, you know what, Jay, you're right. Well, we're going to do something when Peacemaker drops. And there
yeah,
you go.
and there it is. I saved the day. So
So thank you can thank me for Mario existing, and you can thank Jay for improved XP in Mortal Kombat this
yeah,
season.
well, yeah. So and there you go. So I got Cena or Peacemaker all maxed out, and now we're working on some other characters because I can do it. I want to get all their shit unlocked.
All
So
right.
all right, scheduled union mandated pee break.
Yeah, he's joking. He's not union. We don't believe in that here.
True.
So the XP is better for the pass in Mortal Kombat. Yes, it is. Jay bitched about that constantly, and now his complaining has been rewarded because that's what happens when you got some pull. So if you're an MK1 enjoyer, enjoy some Peacemaker and some less dog water XP. Reggie says, cancel Suicide Squad. Let's run raids and Avengers. That's actually the worst possible thing you could do because not only does Suicide Squad have actual content coming up, you can't even run raids and Avengers unless you have a full squad of 4. And even then, one of you might disconnect, and that's it. No joining progress. You disconnect during a raid in Avengers, you start over from the very beginning. That is unfortunate. But raids may be coming in Suicide Squad. Speaking of raids, this was asked on the old Twitter, and I believe Axel gave the eye emoji, indicating that they're working on something that they're going to talk about later. So it's not too surprising. I mean, this is a live service shooter. They already have a horde mode, so it's expected at some point that they would incorporate raids. But yep, they are actually doing raids at some or something like it at some point. Hopefully, the boss fights are better designed than in the campaign because personally was not a fan. Now we need Jay to complain about the servers for Suicide Squad. Oh, he's been doing that for quite a while. Name a costume that you really want in Suicide Squad. Arkham Asylum Harley, Batman Who Laughs for Joker, Green Lantern for King Shark, and that's all. Those are the only ones I really actually care about. The Will Smith Deadshot one would be pretty cool as well, but I mainly want Batman Who Laughs for the Joker. I think that skin would be incredible. It worked perfectly with the way the character was built out, and I mainly want the Arkham Harley, not just for the culture, but because I want this game to succeed, and I know that costume would make them a lot of money, so much money if they actually put that in the store. They would literally make millions of dollars in one day off that one skin and get a ton of free press. Like that's literally all they have to do if they want to inject some much needed revenue and attention.
How do you make it through a whole show without drinking anything?
Because I'm not 100 years old.
Dude, I'm always thirsty.
Yeah. I also had a half gallon of water like a couple hours ago. So
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just always thirsty. And as I was walking up the stairs, I'm like, dude, I don't think I've ever seen Sadot take a sip of anything on any of these 69 shows.
not on any of these shows, but if you get me on a 10-hour stream, I'll take a drink break.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just always thirsty.
Oh, well, I mean, it could be a sign of something horrible, but it could be normal.
Hey, hold on. I don't know if you addressed this or not. Okay.
Yes.
You did address it?
Yes.
Okay. literally today.
literally, Jay and I just had like a 20-minute discussion about the server. So
Like, and there are devs that DM'd me this week after I complained about the servers, and we got it all fixed. So it's been like an hour. And I know, Jared, dude. I had a full cup of Guardians of the Galaxy water. All right.
There you have it. Maybe Jay is on
And
PCP.
a whole monster. Like, I'm just always thirsty. PCP makes me so thirsty. I don't. Yeah, not me.
we were just talking about how some of the costumes we wanted in the game, and I mentioned how if they wanted to have just an influx of millions of dollars in one day and a ton of good press, all they have to do is put the Arkham Asylum Harley outfit in the store.
Imagine though.
That's literally all I have to do. It's right there. They have the assets.
Yeah. I don't disagree, right? But narratively, can they do it? Because she's already like said no.
Yeah, I mean, technically she said no to the Arkham. I think it was the Arkham City outfit.
Yeah.
Didn't say no to the Arkham Asylum.
Huh.
So there's that. They can work that in narratively, or just ignore it, because money, that would make a lot of money.
I don't disagree, but yeah. Question for Jay: if you could have a Lego game, which one would you? I would not like either of those games.
Lego Infinity Saga or Lego Batman 4.
Yeah. So here's the thing: when Lego Marvel's Avengers came out, people hated it. Like, people were so mad because it didn't have X-Men, it didn't have Spider-Man. Like they hated it. Okay. And now people look back at it and they're like, oh, I want the Infinity Saga game. And that's fair. I get it. I want a Lego Marvel 3. So that we can have everybody, because now they can finally do that. But I don't necessarily. I would rather a Lego DC superheroes than a Lego Batman 4. But the Lego Batman stuff sells, so we'll see.
I would rather have a Lego anime game. Just have the biggest shonen anime, Naruto, One Punch Man, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, just all Lego.
Lego Marvels. I would do so. Lego Dimensions 2. I have pitched that. So like I'm pretty sure I taught Sadot about Lego Dimensions last show. So like Lego Dimensions 2 is exactly what we need. All right. No toys to life. All right. You let Lego make those blind packs and you can have a Lego Dimensions themed blind pack where there's like 20 character minifigs from the game that people go out and buy. All right. And yeah, I think that would be perfect. You could just because the thing I loved about Lego Dimensions was that it brought so many franchises in there. You have Gandalf on the thing with the Wicked Witch and Batman and Marty McFly and the Adventure Time people. And yeah, it was crazy. Like all the different franchises, blending in together, and it would be so cool.
I got even better pitch. How
Okay.
about Dimensions, but not Lego?
No, I so Fortnite.
but everyone isn't shooting guns.
Right. No, and I don't hate that either, you know what I mean? Like, but it worked with Lego, and because Lego has all those like franchises and everything. And we're gonna get something similar. If you're not familiar with Funko Fusion,
Yeah.
A lot of people that worked on the Lego games broke off and started their own studio. They're making a Funko Fusion game, which is going to focus on like
For sure.
Universal properties. So it'll have like Back to the Future. I think it has He-Man, Masters of the Universe,
Right.
Jurassic Park.
But that's the thing. WB owns all these franchises.
Exactly.
They can just make one of these games without tying them to Lego.
Like multiverses.
Yeah, like multiverse, or
Yeah.
like make a legitimate fun action RPG that just blends all of these franchises.
Did I like Lego DC Supervillains? Yes, I did, and there's a lot of reasons for that.
I'm sure he has millions of views on his channel.
Oh my god, that video did those videos did so great. That was probably the last time I did extremely well on YouTube. That's not true. I've done pretty well, but where is it?
He's literally living in a house that he built from Lego.
Like literally built from Lego. But let me just show you what Lego DC Supervillains allowed me to do. Okay? Because of Lego DC Supervillains, I have this picture.
If it wasn't for Lego, Jay would be doing OnlyFans right now.
Basically.
It's the only game where you can get chased by the police as Superman. Fair.
There I am at DC Comics. So I literally got to go to DC Comics. Does it let me like scroll?
Look at young Jay.
This is 2017. That was a book they gave us. Oh, there's Uncaged Games playing Jenga. Yeah, we literally got to go to DC Comics in Burbank. That's my room. Yeah, so this is all DC Comics. We got to go down into the vault and see like so much. Oh, that's one of the Batman suits from the movies. This is in the lobby. All these old books. Like, look at this. It's just some.
That's history right there.
Yeah, this is all like these are all like the little vaults where they have all the like stuff that they have to have tucked away. Just all this is just volumes of their comics. They showed us the book where there. So this is where we got to play the game.
Supergirl.
There's the Flash from Arrow.
Rest in power.
There I am with my buddy Lego Batman. Ellen stuff. But yeah, like this is the ER Emmy.
All from playing video games and talking about them.
Yeah, all from Lego video games. I got to go do this whole tour of WB Games. This is the set from Friends. Beetlejuice's suit. I'm trying Batman, Michael Keaton's cowl. Obviously, like this is all some real cool stuff. We got to see the set of Mom. All right, here's the best part, right? Dude, these are the actual Batmobiles from the movie. There are the two tumblers. Those things cost $1.5 million.
Do they work though?
Yeah.
I would absolutely drive those.
Yeah. Yeah, like these are all the different Batmobiles.
I wonder what kind of gas they take.
Probably diesel, right? Yeah. So yeah, all across the 2.5 Men stage. Apparently, if you do 10 seasons on one set, they'll put your thing on the building. So that's the Friends stage, Big Bang Theory parking spots. Oh yeah, hold on. This is all Harry Potter stuff. This is worth it. Then we had
the Snyderverse.
We had all this. Look at that. That copy of Superman was like in a spiraled book. Like, just insane. The first appearance of Aquaman. There's Batfleck. That's his suit.
I want it.
All this Wonder Woman movie stuff. There's
Did you actually get to meet Gal Gadot?
No. Oh. He who shall not be named suit. Aquaman suit. The Cavill suit. So I don't think Cyborg actually wore that.
Booyah.
I was about to say this Comics Explained. This is the alley that the upside down kiss in Spider-Man happened.
Ooh.
That's what I was looking for. So
worth it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So to answer your question, I have a deep appreciation for Lego DC supervillains
because it makes them money. Who wins in a fight, Jay or Sadot? We all win. We get to see
content, baby.
Great content, and you get to see me beat Jay up.
Probably. I'm not gonna lie. I think you said you're like 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a former fighter.
I'm 5'8", never fought shit. I played hockey 20 years ago.
No, if me and Jay would only ever fight for charity, and it would probably be an arm wrestling match.
Yeah.
Which I would also win. Unless the Celtics win a championship, then we might have to fight.
I mean, they've won what, 17, 16? I lost track.
Never again.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're going to win at least one.
Never. It's over.
They're currently up almost 30 on Dallas.
Luck. Dallas is just taking the night off.
Well, Kyrie, douched up his vagina and showed up. It's in Boston, so usually he ducks.
The Flash actor say, "Oh yeah." Grant Gustin confirmed that if James Gunn gave him a call, he would be down to play the new DCU Flash, which I am absolutely here for.
Yeah, for sure.
Grant Gustin is my Flash.
I agree.
If I could make a superhero game, uh, the meme was Batman Ninja, but the current meta is a live service Green Lantern game
Ooh.
where you're a member of the Green Lantern Corps.
I would say I like that. I did that was actually my first pitch before Batman Ninja, and what one of the higher ups with WB Games thinks of me for. But if I could make any game, I would honestly just do Marvel Heroes Omega 2. Call it something else, but basically what they had, or Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4, but like make it
modern graphics,
modernize it, make it on everything, and make it game as a service. Like basically take Marvel Ultimate Alliance and merge it with Marvel Heroes, make a new game that is basically like that, where you're constantly able to, like, there's a massive base roster, and then you have like DLC packs where there's new characters that come into the game. Every time you release a new character, it's $10 for the character, you get a couple costumes,
I'm
something
sold.
like that.
I'm sold
You know
on
what I
it.
mean? That's what I would do. And I would do the same thing for DC.
Yeah, they're definitely past due for. I know they're still milking DC Universe Online, but they're past due for either a next gen upgrade or like a new version.
And that's the thing that's crazy to me. Their player base cannot be huge.
No, but it's big enough because they're properly they have monetization on there.
Yeah.
And it's big enough to sustain.
What are the Steam numbers? Like how do you
Extremely
figure out?
low. Extremely low. DCUO was never big on Steam.
I get that, but like that's what we're all like led to believe is I don't know how to look for those, but like
I can pull it up right now.
But like I would love to know how many people happen to be playing right now DC Universe Online on Steam.
I can show you. I can pull it up right here. This is the DC Universe. By the way, has been active for over 10 years. Lejeune was in middle school when it came out. To put that in perspective, and it's still going.
There are 37 people watching it right now on Twitch. So there's 506 people in game on Steam. And this game has lasted 10 years. And it was a PlayStation exclusive at first.
Yeah. All-time peak of 3,000 players on Steam.
That's crazy. This game is on year 10. And granted, like Sadot said, this is not a game that is traditionally big on PC, on Steam. It was a free to play game too. But like that is the difference between owning the license and licensing,
Yeah, they don't. It's much cheaper,
and they have very expensive like add-on packs, like $30, or more.
Yeah, so I know it's people have fun speculating about the doom and gloom of Suicide Squad, but the odds of Suicide Squad not releasing all 4 seasons are actually extremely low.
Yeah, I would actually venture to say almost impossible.
Yeah, I heard from Miller that 5 seasons is pretty much already locked in.
Yeah, like that. I've also heard that they basically have the content for the most part, like just ready to roll out at the right time.
Yeah,
and like if you've already got that part done, there is no reason not to get to that point.
Right, especially since you can, release, skins and stuff like that for more monetization. Like it's not the only thing that's costing them is servers and the dev salaries they're already paying. Like,
right. So basically, if they want to keep it like going, even if they just want to like get through that first year of content, they can do that on a skeleton crew.
Yeah, it's not like there's just this huge development that they still have to undertake. Like it's pretty much done, like 1 through 4, and work has started on 5. Like they don't have to just have this huge investment Like the main things they're trying to address are the server issues, the multiplayer, the login and stuff. But the actual content is there. Like it would be no reason for WB to pull the plug, because especially since the game sold too well for them to justify doing that. Like if it'd be one thing if it debuted at as the 30th best selling game in the world, but it was number 3, and it was the best, and it was the most pre-ordered game on PlayStation.
And that was only like five counting 5 days of sales.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no way that the game had has gotten to a point where they would justify shutting it down. Like, keep in mind, Square Enix shut down Babylon's Fall after its first year, but that still made it a year, and
Yeah.
that had one player on Steam, literally
Right.
one.
Yeah. Yeah, that game, like, it did not debut top 3 in
It did
sales.
not, not
You
even
know?
close, not
Yeah.
even close.
Yeah, so, like, there are people that own the game. Um, you know, I feel like once it's fixed, you'll see people come back once they know that, like, their time is worth it,
Mhm.
and then there'll be Joker, and it's just gonna be 4 people playing as Joker all the time, hopefully, and we'll go from there, you know? It's not a perfect game, we've said that over and over again, but it's fun when it works.
And
So
they didn't even announce the new game mode yet.
right,
There's a new game mode they haven't even announced yet. Granted, they can't roll this out until they fix multiplayer,
right.
but there is an entirely new game mode that I know a lot of people are going to be playing that they haven't even announced yet.
Yeah,
So it's fair to be like, okay, yeah, the marketing is a problem. Yeah, you got to fix the stuff, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
yeah,
The game is getting 4 seasons, whether
right,
you like it or not.
yeah, and you're not getting a Batman game anytime soon.
No, you're not. So
Like
cope.
like, there will be people that will be, like, a whole decade in to their life by the time there's possibly another Batman game.
I mean, we have a better chance of seeing Batman and Gotham Knights at this point as a playable character.
And that ain't happening.
Like, yeah, I was just looking into WB Games Montreal for a video that I'm planning on making,
Right.
and I don't know if they canceled it, but right now they're working on a new game in addition to acting as a support studio for the Wonder Woman game for Monolith. That's what they're mainly hiring for. Most of their hirings are to help with Monolith, and also they're looking for a new creative director for a new game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, so we'll see.
I'm sure Jay can make some inquiries behind the scenes. He's well connected.
I mean, that I would have to be in person to really ask about that, to be honest with you.
He means he has to slide a paper bag filled with cash.
No, because, like, when you're at these events, you know, you talk to people with the studios and you find out things, and then you're, you know, burdened with
Glorious purpose.
I mean, I can relate to that, you know?
Yeah, he had to sit on the knowledge of several games existing before they were officially announced. It was very painful.
Multiverses I knew about like a full year before it even came out. It was brutal.
He badly wanted to tell people.
I did. I really and truly wanted to tell people, but I like my access, so I told nobody.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we're anywhere close to Wonder Woman though. I think that's like a late 2025 game.
Yeah, I think that's most. Yeah, 2020. The only thing I was expecting realistically for Wonder Woman 2024 was like maybe some gameplay and like a release window announcement, because yeah, I definitely was when they didn't have anything new in 2023. I thought, yeah, this is probably a 2025 game, if anything,
Yeah.
which is fine. Take the time that you need. But 2025 is Look it up. It'd be interesting. James Gunn just revealed a sneak preview of the Superman suit for his 2025 Superman movie, and Jay has thoughts.
People are already complaining about it.
Of course.
Like, I saw Jazzy Butters tweet something, like retweet something, and I commented on it, like comparing it to the one from Lois and Clark. Like, oh, this suit has actual Kryptonian technology all over it, and you can actually see the appreciation to detail. And I'm like, bro, you're not going to be that zoomed in on the suit. It's going to be at a distance. You're never going to see those details. And doesn't Clark make his suit with his Earth mom? Like, he didn't make a Kryptonian suit. He like sewed together like regular materials. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, there's definitely, and this is the other thing. Like we knew going in that James Gunn was going to have a lot of naysayers because people, there's still a lot of Snyder cultists out there, and they want they want their Henry Cavill. They don't like the new Superman. They want their old Superman, and they're not going to give James Gunn the benefit of the doubt. But from what I've seen of the casting so far, Superman Legacy, oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
yeah. Who is it? Nick Holt is Lex.
Nick Holt is Lex.
He looks awesome.
He looked perfect as Lex.
Yeah.
Corn Sweat looks great looks like a young Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Rachel Brosnahan. She's incredible in Mrs. Maisel. She's perfect for Lois Lane.
She really does. Like, I saw a video that she did where like Nick and Corn Sweat like both kind of leaned in.
Yeah.
And they all look like, all I saw was Lex, Lois, and Clark.
Yeah, absolutely spot on casting.
Yeah, so the casting looks like it was pretty great.
Then there's got Wendell Pierce for Perry, which I love.
Yeah, so it definitely looks like it's going to be some good stuff.
There's got to deliver, and I think it's going to. The question, of course, is going to be how much it's going to sell. I think it's going to be a good movie. Like everything I've seen, the casting, everything looks like it's going to be great. The question then is, will people actually show up to this movie?
It's Superman, and I feel like yes.
Yeah, but because that's not like, sure, people, as much as people glaze the Henry Cavill era, Superman, the Man of Steel only did like 800 mil.
Only,
yeah, like it didn't hit a bill. It didn't hit a billy. It wasn't $1 billion franchise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is.
Like, and that's going to be the expectations, fair or not, of Superman. Actually, it's like and then of course Batman v Superman did even worse. Like, but the expectation for Gunn is going to be, oh well, he didn't even make $1 billion at the box office.
Well, here's the real question: like, how
actually, Man of Steel did 668 million, so even worse.
So, I think Guardians, he can get away with what he did, but do you think it's going to be a Guardians feel for Superman? Like, he has to treat that differently, right?
Yeah, and I think he will, because James Gunn isn't like a one note director. Like, he does have his like preference, his thing, but it sounds like he's definitely going to treat this a little more seriously when it comes to the story. I'm sure there's going to be some humor, and it's fine. Like, Superman, that's the other thing that I didn't like about the Snyderverse. Yeah, DC doesn't have to be Marvel goofy,
right?
But Superman stories are inherently bright and optimistic. Like, he's the Boy Scout. He's Superman. He's not this dark, gritty kind of guy. That's Batman. Those are his stories. Superman's are more about hope and optimism and more. It's supposed to be more fun, especially the early goofy stuff. But I think striking a balance is is needed, and I think James Gunn is definitely equipped to do that, because I definitely don't want to see another desaturated Superman movie where he's snapping people's necks. I don't want. I'm not interested.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that.
I'm curious. I'm curious what he would do. As for the new Batman for the DCU, I don't know, because Robert Pattinson I think is a really good Batman. I'm curious what he can do as Bruce Wayne, if he maybe has some more material to work with and more emphasis on that. But I know he's a great actor, so I know he can do a effective Bruce Wayne, and I thought he was a really good Batman.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement. I love the Batman. Actually, 2 years ago today, I was watching the Batman.
Yeah, I went into the theaters. That's one of the rare movies I went to the theaters to see,
Yeah,
and I very much enjoyed it.
it was in fact a great movie.
Yeah, that soundtrack, that score, definitely not perfect. The ending, I felt like the extra ending didn't really add much to it, but overall, I thought it was a fantastic movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else Matt Reeves cooks up. And that new Batman movie, Raven of Bold, I'm willing to give James Gunn the benefit of the doubt. I think he's shown that he's pretty good at what he does, and I want the DCU to succeed, because I think there's potential here, particularly because James Gunn is very passionate about the video game side of things, and he's been one of the driving forces behind getting WB to get off their asses and make and start greenlighting more DC games, because it's like, why wouldn't you? You own the IP. You
Right.
have you have a thriving games division. Make some fucking games. You got make more Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, DC. You got all these IPs. Use them.
Yeah, it is strange. I think we will start seeing that shift with their studios. They don't have as many studios as you think, though.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the other thing. They they obviously they could get into the acquisition business if they wanted to add an extra studio, but the studios they do have, they can definitely prioritize. But also they could they can license the DC stuff out. They can get a
That is
better,
fair.
and they can be smarter about it than Marvel, and be like, hey, we know that you're hesitant about licensed games because Marvel Disney has been have doing the stuff, but here's what we can do, and literally just undercut Marvel
Right.
and just be like, look, Marvel, we literally know what Marvel is putting in their deals. We'll give you this instead. We'll charge you this instead for the license fee, much less, and we'll get the hell out of the way and let you do what you want to do.
That'd be very interesting. That's a very good point.
I would if I was Zaslav, I would 100. I would have been called. I'd be as soon as I saw that EA announcement about them getting out of IPs. I would immediately called up the CEO and be like, "Look, I know you're getting out of the Disney business, but how would you like to get into the DC Comics business, and we can work with you on those licensing fees." That's what I
Uh,
would have been doing.
this is not happening. There were apparently rumors they were gonna try to do that with Paramount.
Yeah, I heard it might merge, but that doesn't seem like it's
It
happening.
seems like they've backed off that, and they also canceled that Wile E. Coyote movie. I
Yeah,
think.
Coyote versus Acme. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy that they just a full movie that's made just shelve it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's gotta be tough too, because they're in dire straits.
Yeah,
The
they are.
studio as a whole might just disappear.
And
So at a certain point,
but also this is a James Gunn movie. It's obviously got a groundswelling of support. What's the harm in dropping it on Max and seeing how it does?
I don't know. I don't know the dollars of it. I don't understand what makes
Just be like, hey,
what
this is exclusive. Hey, I heard you guys on Twitter. You're really excited about Cowley versus Acme from James Gunn. Available right now for limited time, exclusively on Max.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't.
If you want it, sign up for Max. Boom. like yeah, like it feels weird. It feels weird that, especially when James Gunn, you hired him to run the DC side of things. Like, you obviously trust his vision. Like, let him cook. Let him cook a little bit. At the very least, like, I understand why they didn't want to release Batgirl. Obviously that was going to be a bomb.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put $100 million in marketing behind that one. So it's like, but also, why are we also spending $100 million in marketing on everything? Like, why? Like, you don't need to spend that much money to market anything.
These to be facts.
We're in this isn't 1995 anymore. Like, you can like you can pay some TikTok influencers and run some YouTube and Twitter ads, and you'll be okay. like like a lot of the stuff they spend marketing on doesn't really convert like it used to, but it's just kind of this kind of old school thinking.
Have you watched this yet?
Shogun, yeah, everyone keeps talking about it. I have not watched Shogun yet. I started watching The Bear. That's that restaurant show on
Mhm.
Hulu. I started watching it because I heard good things, and it's starring Lip from Shameless, which is a show that I love. But yeah, I added Shogun to my list because usually when I'm on Hulu, I'm usually watching anime. They have a very good anime collection on Hulu. But yeah, I've heard good things about Shogun.
I watched the first episode.
Looks like it's up my alley.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a slow. So Game of Thrones, like I feel like the first like 4 or 5 episodes you really had to grind through before it hit its stride. I liked what I saw in this episode. I only watched the first episode so far. It's a little slow. I do not like having to read subtitles.
I do.
I hate it. I just do because I'm like doing 2 things at once. So like I'm trying to pay attention and like also work on stuff.
And they don't have a dub.
And there's no dub that I'm aware of unless I did it wrong.
Probably.
But like parts of it are in English because there's like an English speaking part of it.
So it's probably intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think it's exactly what they intended. And I don't like it personally.
So I'll probably love it.
Yeah, but I'm just committing myself to like, dealing with it because it does look like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I know the first episode is really cool. I'm interested. I'm invested at this point.
Yeah, martial arts and samurai stuff. I'm obviously big fan of. Ghost of Tsushima fan, but I'm a big fan of Warrior. That's a really good show.
I've seen people reference it as being Game of Thrones ish, and I can see that already. And it's very well made. Like I just don't love
the stuff you don't like having to read while you're watching.
Yeah, I don't like that at all, and that's coming from somebody that's hearing impaired as well. Like, subtitle. I don't like watching things with subtitles, like at all. Period. I turn subtitles off of my video games. Like, I have a hearing impairment, and you would think that would work to my benefit, but like, I want everything to be in English. Personally, I choose not to watch things if it's not. Like if I have to deal with subtitles, I just don't like it. I understand why they're doing it, and I understand that there are people that are fine with it, and that's fine. Yeah. This is just me.
I prefer subtitles. Only time I mainly go for the dub is if I'm eating, I don't have the ability to fully lock in. But otherwise, unless it's like a really good dub, I'll default to the subtitle version because I don't mind reading it, and I've obviously had a lot of practice reading subtitles from being an anime enjoyer, and I do find that it's often, especially when they don't put a lot of effort into the dub, if it's clearly a bad dub, it's unwatchable to me. Like if the dub is really if the dub is really really good, yeah, I'll definitely check that out. But otherwise, I'll just go to the sub version because I hate bad dubs. they
Yeah.
they can be so cringe
Yep.
because you kind of just lose something from it. But I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully the live action Naruto movie will be in English for Jay's benefit.
Oh, you think I'm gonna watch that?
Well, I know for a fact you're gonna watch it. It's being made by the the director of Shang Chi, so I know you're definitely gonna go check it out.
We'll see.
I'm probably not, but I'm sure Jay. I gotta see the trailer. Like
Is Shang-Chi in it?
probably not.
Does he like, whip up on Monkey?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, I'm out.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I saw like I was willing to give the Avatar show a chance because I looked at the trailer. I was like, okay, well at least the bending doesn't look like complete ass like the M. Night Shyamalan did, and the casting looked good in terms of the likenesses. But yeah, I was watching the first episode and the acting is horrible. I'm sorry. it's it's not great. I haven't been able to get back into it. Yeah, not getting rave reviews. So they can't all be the One Piece live action.
Wait, was that good or?
That was good. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was the rare one that was good.
Interesting.
Most live action anime adaptations are complete ass by rule. Partially because what will usually happen is either it'll be like really low budget, or it'll be made by an American studio that has no respect for the original source material and kind of just and very little talent to begin with, and they just do whatever they want, and it just results in just being absolute dog shit. Also, it's a little hard to translate the anime that they usually try to adapt because the for some reason the instinct is like, oh, let's do an adaptation of this big splashy action series, and the problem is that it's very hard to accurately translate an action anime into live action because of the very stylized style way they design everything. It's really hard to imitate that in live action, and you need a pretty good budget and some very creative people to be able to pull it off. I feel like more studios should try to do anime adaptations of stuff that doesn't require like crazy visuals and CGI. Like in theory, Death Note adaptation was a good idea
Uh,
because it's a great anime, great manga, great story. Doesn't require a lot of crazy CGI, but they still fucked it up because they gave it to an American studio that doesn't respect the source material. But something like Erased, that's one of the better anime adaptations I've ever seen. It was on Netflix. They did a live action adaptation of it, and it was amazing. In some ways, better than the anime because it's a narrative driven story that isn't about flashy battles and CGI and everything like that. It's basically just a murder mystery, just a really really good one. So I think more people should look into that side of anime adaptations rather than just looking, this big action franchise sold 1 billion copies, let's try to make, like, no. It's probably going to be ass. And it usually is. You definitely am like in watching the Airbender. Yeah, that's going to be it. Yeah, that's going to be a no for me, dog. Who do you think wins next month? UI Goku or Beast Gohan? Are they fighting? I didn't know they were fighting.
Thor is currently snoring so loud. It's a mess over there. Sorry.
He's the best, as he should be. Well, in terms of, if we're going by power scaling, I feel like based on the movie, Beast Gohan should definitely be below UI Goku.
This lighting is very interesting.
Yeah, what do you think, Jay? Who's stronger, Beast Gohan or UI Goku?
Like UI, does that stand for urinary infection?
in some translations, but generally it stands for Ultra Instinct.
Nezuko wins.
Nezuko generally understood that the Demon Slayer power scaling is pretty low compared to, say, the Dragon Ball. Whereas Demon Slayer is a more grounded, warrior story, whereas Dragon Ball deals with blowing up planets and universes and stuff like that.
I'm like messing around with my lighting, and I'm trying to decide which lighting looks better.
You look great in all the lighting, Jay.
Fair enough. I mean, that's fair.
Except for your Celtics hat, it looks ass, and no matter how much you adjust it.
Hater.
Damn right I am.
I don't think they've lost a game in a month. Not that it matters. The only games that matter are the ones that are in the playoffs.
And those are the games they're going to lose. Funny enough.
We'll see.
We will see. I think
I'm not a betting man, so I
think
the
Dallas,
games are going to be the games.
I think Dallas is going to make some noise in the playoffs.
Well,
if they stay healthy.
I mean, I hope we see Dallas in the playoffs, because I just saw a stat. Ever since Kyrie stomped on the Celtics logo, he is 0-5 in Boston and 1-10 against the Celtics.
Well, we'll have to change that. Well, fortunately, the Celtics aren't making it out of the East, so we won't have to deal. That won't have to be a thing.
We'll see. I mean, it could happen. Like it. It
happened last year.
Yeah.
And the year before.
I don't know. They made it out of the East one of those years and should have won the finals, but didn't.
One of those years. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't.
That is a fact.
Yeah, I mean, do you buy this narrative that Jason Tatum is being unfairly looked over for MVP?
No, because there are nights that Jaylen Brown's the MVP on this team, and there are nights that Kristaps is MVP on this team. I think he is unfortunately dealing with playing with other superstars. I don't know that. I
also don't think he's ever been the best player in the league, or even in that conversation.
I think if he was playing on a team. If he was playing on a team where he had to be the guy, I think he would absolutely, have a shot at being considered that. But he plays on a team where he has the luxury of not having to be the guy all the time. Like I know a lot of people don't think that highly of Jaylen Brown, but he is an incredible player.
For sure.
He's like a second tier superstar for sure. But there are nights that he is one of the top 10 players in the league. Not all the time. I'm not saying that, but he can have those nights where he absolutely is.
For sure.
And I think Kristaps can have those nights too. Maybe not as much as the other two guys. And then you got, Derek White and Drew Holiday, who are the absolute perfection, role player type players. And then we even got the white kid on as our sixth man,
Pritchard.
Yeah, he is having an amazing season by all accounts. So my worry for the Celtics is if somebody gets hurt, they're not stacked on the bench. They've got good guys on the bench. Sam Hauser is really good, underrated, but they don't nobody wants to come to Boston, all those guys that get cut, they want to go Miami,
as they should.
Where would you want to be from February through early June? Miami or Boston? I live here, I get it. Okay, it's fucking cold outside.
Plus taxes.
That's a real thing. We have a millionaire tax here. People that make over $1 million get taxed at a higher rate. And
in Florida, they're like, oh,
no state income tax.
Keep your money.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, trust me, it's frustrating. I get it. So yeah.
Yeah, Boston out in the second round, you say? Second round?
they could get bounced in the first round, you know? Like anything can happen once you get there. This team should win the title. Like
on paper, should.
Yep. Like they should win the title. There are a few other teams that should. I don't think we match up well with Denver. I worry about playing Denver.
I think a healthy Sixer team as well.
I don't feel like we ever have worried about the Sixers.
You should.
Like, I don't really think we ever have. Like, I don't have the Sixers ever beaten us in the playoffs.
You should be terrified.
Even once.
You should be absolutely terrified of a healthy Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
Listen, I've said this to you before. Tyrese Maxey is a great player. I have a lot of respect for Tyrese Maxey. I think he is like definitely going to be a superstar.
And we don't have Doc Rivers holding us back this time.
Right. That is fair. I mean, fortunately, that's why we get to write off Milwaukee a little bit.
Yeah, they're definitely cooked. They're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, hired Doc Rivers. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's GG.
Yeah, I mean, I don't worry about any team other than Denver, but I know that any team could beat us, you know? Like, that's just the reality of the situation.
I mean, especially after you lost to Miami. Like, you have to...
Yep.
You have to understand.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Like, there's no getting around that. They had no business losing to Miami last year, and they did. You know, playoff Jimmy got us.
Playoff Jimmy.
But to be fair, we got rid of Grant Williams. So
true.
So you know,
but to also be fair, you're relying on Porzingis' niece.
That was always my, and we've had that conversation. That was always my biggest fear.
Yeah, that's the same problem with the Sixers. On paper, amazing team, but Joel Embiid's niece.
Yeah. I mean, same thing with Jamal Murray right now. I guess he's out again.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate because Jamal Murray did have some injury problems, but then like they got back on track, and that allowed Denver to finally push through. But yes, he's been healthy for a while, but now I guess it just had some bad luck this time. Grant Williams got traded for talking too much and switching shoe.
Yeah, that allegedly is true because he was wearing Tatum's.
He was wearing the Tatum's. Oh, you can't wear the Tatum's.
But he also he's a good player, but he does talk way too much shit when he shouldn't.
Like a Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Who's also going out pretty sad right now.
Yeah, and he didn't have any way to like knock his ass out.
Yeah.
When he talked too much.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Just poor Jordan Poole. He's gonna be in China soon. He's gonna be starting for the Shanghai Sharks
with a whole lot of money.
A lot of money, but yeah. At a certain point, NBA players learn that once you make a certain enough money, you start thinking about other stuff like winning and being respected.
Ooh, looks like we're getting some new Spider-Man 2 Funko Pops.
Ooh, is that marketing I hear, Jay?
Is that allowed?
Is Spider-Man 2 marketing?
Like, imagine if they didn't bitch about the Adidas suit. Maybe like a couple more employees could have stayed working there.
Maybe we never know. Like I don't know. It's Sony really loves that VR. So you gotta make those sacrifices, Jay.
Yeah, I guess. It looks like Peter is getting his advanced suit, Miles an upgrade suit. There's a Venom, a Craven, a Peter Parker Velocity suit, and a Miles Morales TBD suit leaping. Ooh. So he'll be leaping in his suit.
Nice. And New Game Plus is 6 days away.
Interesting.
It's kind of soon. You going to be streaming it, Jay?
No. I'll make some videos of the new suits, but I'm all set with New Game Plus.
All set. Yeah, I think I'm going to. I'll see. I'm definitely going to stream it. Yeah. Obviously, I don't have to worry about season 1 of Suicide Squad dropping next week to conflict with it.
What day is it? The 5th?
The sev- the 7th is
The 7th. Okay.
on Thursday.
What wasn't the rumor the 8th for the Suicide Squad DLC?
Yep.
We'll see.
But yeah, the next patch, I think Miller confirmed it. Next patch is going to be the season 1 patch. That's why they're still holding on to the mastery level bug fix. That's they're packaged that in the season 1 patch.
Right.
And the next, and they confirmed next week there's no patch. So that's why I assume maybe we're looking at probably the week of the 17th.
Yeah.
For season 1. And just next week will be just no patch, and hopefully they are able to fix those login and multiplayer issues with the server update rather than the full patch. Because if the whole week goes by and they don't have anything, that's definitely not going to be a good look.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not too optimistic, but we'll get it when we get it.
Jay's going to be busy with Helldivers.
No, I'm gonna be busy with WWE.
That's a
Yeah. I want to go. So like my WWE videos, the ones that my brother Ghost plays for me, the showcase, I should get like 21 videos out of that. And those videos do pretty decent numbers. Like last time I looked, a lot of them were in like the 40s and 50s thousand views. So I obviously want to make sure I get all those done the way that we always do.
Yep.
Like I actually get a lot of messages about it. So yeah, I want to go a little harder in WWE this year.
Jay making a switch, becoming a wrestling creator.
I mean one of these has 91,000 views. So yeah, I mean these showcase videos, the Rey Mysterio ones, I have a bunch that are in the 40s, 50s, 70s, thousands.
Hopefully no one steals your videos this time.
That guy was such like I don't even understand. My YouTube partner, the main person I talked to, is out on maternity leave. So I emailed the person that he said to talk to. I haven't gotten a response yet, so I'm a little annoyed, but I'm absolutely I told him I don't want it taken down. I just want his money. So claim it for the money. Give me his money.
Yep, take that. Yep, take that ad revenue.
Because like I don't even hold on. I can tell you what it's at right now. I mean, it's gotten like 4,000 views today. Like
last I checked, it was at like 140,000 views.
Oh, it's at 163. It was at 141 when I saw it for the first time. So yeah, let me have their money.
Yep. That money now belongs to Jay.
Yeah. That's all, buddy, man. That was his last comment. And he has no leg to stand on.
Yeah, he literally stole your video and removed the music and cropped out your watermark.
but he has a full-time job, so he just forgot.
Yeah, he had with his job, he only had time to look at your video, download it, edit it so that no one would be able to tell it was your video.
Right.
But outside of that, didn't have the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously a lot annoying. I've never said no to anybody. Like if you ask me, like there was another really big WWE creator. He like sent me a message. It ended up in spam, and he ended up doing it anyway, but gave like the first like 20 seconds of video are like, hey, JayShockblast made this. Here's his channel. Link in the description. Thank you, Jay. And by the time I saw him, like, yeah, go ahead and do it. And then I like had seen that he already had. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, I appreciate that you asked. Like, that's more than most people will ever do.
For sure.
So I don't know.
Definitely goes a long way.
Yeah.
Jay appreciates it. If you're going to use his content, ask him first, unless you're me.
Yeah, like you're one of the. I mean, I expect it, but it's hard because like it's hard for me to like, you get to go on these things, right? And it's a privilege and a pleasure, and all of that, and you want to make sure the content that you put out does numbers so that they can justify bringing you. And I can't like if you point at my video right now for that they stole from, it's about to hit 20,000 views, which is fine, but like it would look better if that was 181,000 views.
Maybe you should steal his thumbnail to get back at him.
Maybe I should. I didn't even see what it was, but yeah. Yeah, maybe I should just like steal like his title and
literally steal his title and thumbnail.
yeah, hold on. Let me see what his video tags. Let's steal those. I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
Literally just take it all.
I do actually love my thumbnail though. So
show him who's boss. We need info on how the battle pass works. Are you talking about for Suicide Squad? Pretty sure it's should be straightforward. Yeah, it's funny that they still haven't gone into that detail, but they've told us I think most of what we need to know about the battle pass is going to have cosmetic items on there, nothing related to gameplay, unlike the Helldivers battle pass. There's no weapons on there. There's no gear. It's literally just cosmetic items. And there's going to be a premium tier, and there's going to be a free tier. It's pretty straightforward. The only twist, if there's any other details, we don't know about it. But like the one twist with the Helldivers is that their battle passes, you basically unlock the stuff on there by earning medals, which is something you can only get by playing the game. Whereas with the Suicide Squad, you're going to have the free tier, so obviously you're not going to have to pay anything for that. But premium tier, we don't know how much that'll cost, but expect that to be some money, a couple bucks to unlock. And then you're going to also be able to confirm you're going to be able to earn Lex coin on the battle pass, which is the premium currency.
Dude, his fucking title is like has words misspelled. Like I'm not stealing his title. I'll steal his tags though. And I changed the title a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It would be perfect if your video that exploded and did like 500,000.
I mean, at this point, I doubt it will, but we'll play some games.
It can happen. In my experience, if you adjust your title and thumbnail and stuff on a YouTube video that's even if it's already been out for a while, it can definitely explode after the fact. It's happened to me a bunch of times.
Yeah, his thumbnail is stupid. It's just like literally it's literally a screenshot from the thing. He didn't like do anything too special. So
keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Simple thumbnail, simple video creation process. Stealing.
Yeah. I actually I really love my thumbnail. Hold on, let's see what Sadot thinks of my thumbnail. I
am an expert, they say.
Yeah. Hold on, thumbnails.
This is Sadot judges other YouTube creators stuff. If you're an aspiring YouTube creator, pay attention. Let's see what Jay is cooking up here. Okay, so we got WWE 2K24 roster, store, and belts. So, as a content creator who has studied the art of the thumbnail, right off the bat, I would say not bad, pretty decent. My main critique would be that I would tone down the red a little bit. I would tone down the red overlay on the text because red is proven to be something that you want to use in the correct doses because it can affect the readability. of the text when you do have it on there, but it's mostly white, so it's still pretty good. Also, is recommended to have not more than two characters in a thumbnail. The preference is obviously to have one character with the emphasis on their face and their emotions, but it's according to the numbers, you get really uh less returns once you go beyond two people in one thumbnail. And and if you have less people, that means you would be able to blow up the characters
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so that they're more visible and they more stand out. Because the other key with a thumbnail is that it has to be readable in all the and viewable in all the various formats that people watch YouTube on, because the size is going to vary depending on if you're watching it on your phone or your laptop or your TV. That's why I use this website that I have it's called thumbsup.tv,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows you to basically preview. You just upload your thumbnail and it shows you a preview of it in all the different formats that it would be shown on YouTube. And I would usually just do a check to make sure it looks good, it's readable in all the different formats, whether it's on mobile, it's in the history section, everything like that. Otherwise, I think the concept of it is solid for sure.
Well, that's the nicest thing you ever said to me.
Damn right. Don't don't expect more.
So the reason why I went with 6 is because um obviously because it's WWE, they're all recognizable people.
Yep,
I chose them all for specific reasons. Obviously John Cena, you know,
of course.
and he's in an NWO shirt, which is very different for him. Bray Wyatt passed away recently, and it's a very different version of Bray Wyatt. LA Knight is one of the hottest people in WWE right now, and Tiffany Stratton. What can you say about what's the upper version of cake? Like, what do we call that?
The upper version of cake.
Yeah, is there like a cake for boobs?
Uh, a cake for boobs.
Like what do we refer to that? Like, cake is a nice thing to like use and say, but is there something?
You can just say yeah.
Okay, so she's got the gat. All right, I'm trusting you. I probably shouldn't. You
Oh,
think we would?
I would never steer you wrong.
You think I would have learned by now? But no, she's also like a hot one right now,
Yeah,
and her outfit,
yeah.
you know.
I don't think we need to have Jay out here saying "mommy milkers." That's, yeah,
I
yeah is better.
yeah.
Mommy milkers, calcium cannons. We don't need that.
I obviously put Xavier Woods on there because Xavier Woods.
Diversity. Gotcha.
And no, man, I've met Xavier Woods so many times. He's always been cool. And then obviously Rhea Ripley, it's like a very different version of like Rhea Ripley now. Like there, she looks like any other blonde Barbie bubblegum chewing, girl. But like now she's like all metalled out, all tatted out,
Yeah.
black hair. So it's such a different version. So that's why I chose them.
I would have picked two of the most popular guys in one picture of a girl with boobies.
Okay. So maybe I'll just make another one and I'll just I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. That's me. But otherwise that's my critique of the thumbnail from the perspective of me. Yeah.
I just love the way that it looked.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's important that as a creator you enjoy your own thumbnails. There's always room for growth. So if you're seeing success on your videos, specifically with your click-through rate, then keep doing what works. But if you feel like a certain video isn't doing as well as it should, the click-through rate isn't there, then one of the things you can definitely look at is thumbnail and title adjustment.
I really loved this one too.
Yeah, that one's pretty solid. I would have actually made the character model closer to the camera.
Yeah, the problem that I had was that I had to take like a screenshot of my video, and for whatever reason the capture card they used was only 1080.
Yeah.
So, and I know that you can make the thumbnail 720, and maybe I should have just done that.
See, I use Canva, so I would have been able to do is take the screenshot and cut out just the model, and then I would be able to enlarge him and put it any position I wanted and kind of emphasize different parts.
Yeah, I could have probably done that too, because I use Adobe, whatever they have. I basically just plug in
They got
the
pretty
model, and it like takes out the background for me.
Yeah.
Adobe Spark.
Yes, Adobe Spark. Yeah, Canva they added a new feature. They have the generic background remover, and then they added an AI version where you can where it's called Magic Crop, where you can more intelligently crop out different parts of a video of an image. It works pretty well. Their eraser tools in particular are really good.
Gotcha.
I'm enjoying. Yeah, the upgraded Canva is pretty dope. I'm loving all those features they added. It makes doing thumbnails even easier.
We are 2 hours and 45 minutes in, Austin. We have talked about talked that to death.
Yeah. Literally, there's now this euphemisms for boobs in the chat now. We're at that stage.
Listen, fun bags, Milky Wilkies, premium milk, mommy milkers, all of that. It's not the same as cake. Like, cake is one word, easy to do. That's all I was asking.
That's why GAT is better.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that one though.
that is the way we're getting Jay hip to the lingo one step at a time.
Muffins, is that what we're doing? I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that's terrible. That'll never happen.
Oh.
All right, so let's wrap it up for this week. But we're definitely going to look into getting some Rocksteady peeps up here to chat with the community, and we'll definitely make sure that the trolls aren't welcome.
Yeah.
but that could be a fun thing to have them come on here and talk about the stuff. Listen to feedback and what have you. I think because we even had that with Avengers. We had that one Doom show where we had a couple devs on there. So, yeah, that's crazy. So we'll look to do that with Rocksteady. So that should be a lot of fun. Look out for that. Obviously I'm sure there's a lot of red tape to get through. So
yeah.
we'll reach out. We'll do what we can. But if so, definitely look out. That's going to be a crazy show, and I think it'll definitely help bring the community a little closer together. We're just doing a part.
So probably shouldn't mention this, but I'm gonna anyway.
Yes.
Headline I just read: the CDC is no longer recommending Americans to stay home after testing positive for COVID.
Oh, Jesus Christ! On that note, we'll enough said. We'll see y'all before YouTube demonetizes us. We'll see y'all next week. I'll see y'all next week. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I'm Casual Avenger. I'm JayShockblast.
Zip it up and zip it out. Peace.
My naysayers.